Okay, so things are bad, like end of the world bad. Our boy is facing off against the Demon King. He's throwing everything he has at this thing, a massive energy blast, but it barely makes a dent. The Demon King just swats the attack away like it's nothing and comes crashing down, straight up dominating the fight. The ground is shaking, crumbling. It's a total disaster zone, and honestly, this dude had it coming. The Demon King is unleashing some serious power, and the battlefield is getting obliterated around them. Something is dripping from the Demon King, and it's not good. He's taunting the last human standing. Victory is mine, the Demon King declares, and it looks like he's right, completely overpowering our hero. But just when it seems hopeless, a beam of light erupts and time rewinds. No way! Our boy is suddenly back in time, a kid again, his weakest self. This is a second chance, people. He knows what's coming, the apocalypse, and he's already gearing up to change everything. Time to speedrun this thing. He coughs up blood, but it's clear the Demon King is finished. The world is literally ending around them. But hold up, a year later, we see the aftermath: total devastation, demons everywhere, and humanity is wrecked. The few survivors aren't living, they're being used as breeding grounds for monsters. Super messed up, honestly. And now, this dude, our boy, is the last of the resistance, standing alone against the demonic hordes. He's exhausted, breathing heavily, but he refuses to back down, raising his sword against impossible odds. He vows to fight on, even though everything is lost. This is straight up a last stand against the apocalypse. He remembers the past, the war, the loss, and now he's determined to change the future. It's a serious mood. But he's not just remembering, he's actively preparing, honing his skills, and getting ready to rewrite history. He's going to speedrun the apocalypse, prevent the disaster, and save humanity. It's a bold plan, bro. He's got a fire in his eyes, a determination we haven't seen yet. This time, he won't lose. No way, the Demon King, Tartarus, is straight up offering to help our boy who's clearly wrecked. Tartarus says he sees Zephyr suffering, but it's a total trap. He's playing mind games, bro. Suddenly, a glowing ring of energy wraps around Zephyr, and Tartarus is launching some kind of attack. Zephyr grunts, clearly in pain as the energy surges through him. It's intense, honestly. Tartarus reveals he knows Zephyr's name, and that's when things get really creepy. This dude is omniscient. He starts walking towards Zephyr, each step echoing, and declares only a fool keeps fighting a losing battle. However, Zephyr isn't backing down. He's gonna fight, even if he's outmatched. What a legend. He says he'll keep fighting until his last breath, and honestly, that's the energy we need right now. Zephyr remembers the past, the war, all the loss, fueling his determination to change the future. But Tartarus just laughs, saying Zephyr's a fool. This fight is about to get brutal, you guys. Tartarus straight up calls Zephyr and his allies weak, feeble opponents. Talk about a power move. Tartarus offers Zephyr a second chance, suggesting he join forces, but it feels super suspicious, right? Zephyr's sword glows and he accepts the offer, which is a total shock. Is he playing Tartarus? He's questioning his own decision, wondering why Tartarus would help him. This dude's got layers. Tartarus confirms he's been watching Zephyr, and honestly, it's creepy as heck. Tartarus declares his intentions, saying he wants to share the world with Zephyr. Sounds shady to me. Zephyr thinks it's not a bad offer, and we're all like, wait, what? He's walking into a trap. Suddenly, Zephyr's armor starts cracking, like Tartarus is testing his limits. This is getting intense. Tartarus unleashes a wild, chaotic grin, revealing he's been toying with Zephyr all along. Total villain vibes. But Zephyr isn't scared. He's determined to change the future, even if it means playing Tartarus's game. Tartarus's hand descends and it's massive. Zephyr's about to be crushed, no way. But then, a surge of power blasts through Zephyr, like another dimension is backing him up. Zephyr's grabbing for a sword, but Tartarus's hand clamps down. This is a serious clash. We get a flashback to a queen, and apparently Zephyr swore a lot. Classic him. Tartarus's grip tightens, and Zephyr's getting squeezed, but he's still defiant. Zephyr's face is contorted, he's feeling the strain, and he's straight up in pain. Suddenly he shouts "Screw you" at the Demon King. Our boy is not backing down. Another massive power burst explodes, and it's threatening to obliterate Zephyr. This is wild. Zephyr's eyes snap open, and he gives Tartarus his answer, a steely glare. He's declaring war, refusing to join Tartarus, and honestly, good for him. Zephyr unleashes everything he has, a final desperate attack, but Tartarus just laughs it off. This is brutal. The attack explodes, and it looks like Zephyr actually landed a hit, shattering Tartarus's armor. Huge! But Tartarus isn't even phased, he just reforms, and it's clear Zephyr is completely outmatched. Rough. Tartarus grabs Zephyr's head and starts messing with his memories, straight up mind games. We see visions of a broken world, a fallen kingdom, and Tartarus explains he's just speeding up the inevitable. Zephyr tries to fight back, but Tartarus overwhelms him, showing him the countless apocalypses that have already happened. Tartarus offers Zephyr a deal: join him, become his right hand, and rebuild the world. Tempting, but nah. Zephyr rejects the offer and Tartarus loses it, declaring this timeline will suffer the same fate as the others. Tartarus obliterates Zephyr and it's over, or so it seems, total devastation. However, Zephyr wakes up, but he's a kid again, back at the start, and he's already planning his revenge. This is gonna be epic. Okay, so this dude is straight up mining like a madman, and everyone's watching him with a mix of awe and fear. He's digging so fast it's unreal, the sound of his pickaxe echoing. It's kinda terrifying, honestly. This guy is a beast, muscles bulging as he just obliterates the rock face, creating a massive pile of debris. Other miners are starting to sweat, realizing they can't slack off when this guy is setting the pace. Someone actually wishes he was on their team. Like, can you imagine the output? No way. But it's not just motivation, they're genuinely intimidated by how quickly he's working and the relentless sea-land of his pickaxe. He's pushing himself so hard, eyes wild, and the other miners are starting to think something isn't right. And then, total shock, he just keeps going, digging and digging, and they still can't believe what they're seeing. They're completely stunned, speechless as the pile of rocks grows higher and higher. It's kinda crazy. Seriously, this dude is on another level, and they just can't process what's happening right now. Whoa, it happened so fast. Our boy is bathed in light and unlocks some serious perks like right now. He's getting powered up. Wraps tighten around his hands, and you can see energy surging through him. But it's not a smooth process, bro. This dude is clearly in pain as the power floods his system. He's getting visions, a flood of skills and items, and it's a lot, even for him. He sees Revive, a skill that brings you back to life after 3 days, and honestly, that's kinda broken. He's shocked, straight up can't believe he's getting all this power, saying he's never seen anything like it. This dude is realizing he's been given a second chance, and a massive power boost to go with it. He can't believe they just handed him all these skills. It's like they've want him to win. And then he's smirking. Finally, a look of determination, like he's ready to change everything. He's got a plan, and you know it's gonna be epic, because our boy is about to speedrun the apocalypse. The head of the mining team is laying down the law, telling someone to get back to their spot, no excuses. He's straight up saying this newbie won't get any special treatment, just because it's their first day. Ouch. Our boy takes a step forward, and it's a power fuel step. The ground trembles with each footfall. He calls them lazy bastards, and you know this isn't gonna be a friendly chat. He's not holding back. He declares they never listen when he's nice, so this will teach them a lesson, and raises his weapon. The swing comes down fast T, a blur of motion, and honestly, it looks like it's gonna hard T. Do HOA, the swing connects, sending hair flying and a shockwave rippling through the scene. But it's not who we thought. He's actually swinging at the rookie miner, not some hidden enemy. The rookie reels from the hit. No way that didn't sting, even with all his power. However, the rookie doesn't even seem fazed, just looks at the team leader with a slight smirk. Everyone is stunned. They can't believe he just caught that whip with his bare hands. No way! The team leader demands to know do he did that. Completely baffled by this dude's reflexes, the rookie miner, totally unfazed, tells the leader to get back to work and bows. Smooth move. The team leader turns back, still speechless, and the other miner just stares in silence. Our boy starts walking towards them step by step, and the team leader is frozen, completely stunned. We get a close-up of his hand, covered in bandages, but still unbelievably strong and capable. He examines his palm and straight up can't believe the whip didn't even scratch him. This dude is a tank, but it's not just about being tough. He's realizing something Hoji is different about him now. He's got this intense look in his eye, like he's unlocking a hidden power, and things are about to get real. He's remembering everything, the Demon King, the loss, and now he's ready to change the future, finally. He starts swinging his pickaxe like a madman, blasting through the rock face. It's intense. But the real shocker. He's revealing he received Nen perks from his previous life. He's got a plan. Combine those perks with his future knowledge and become the powerhouse he once was. The tunnel collapses around him as he keeps digging, but he's unfazed, still clutching his notebook. He bursts through the other side, looking completely different, leaner, stronger, and ready for war. The other miners are shocked, staring at this dude's transformation. No way they saw that coming. They're ranking all the mining teams, and it's a tense moment. Who's going to come out on top? Everyone's lined up, and honestly, it looks like a serious competition with everyone giving it their all. Boom! Team F has announced his first place, and our boy is right there, looking smug as heck. A little miner shouts sweet, while looking up at him. This dude is already a legend. Team H gets third place, and the announcer straight up skips the rest of the teams. Harsh! But here's the kicker, Team E is dead last, and the mining team's policy is brutal. The last place team's food and supplies go to the top 3. That's rough for Team E, honestly. Team E is devastated, and one of them yells no. You can feel the desperation. The miners start praying to Area, asking for redemption with their eternal light. It's a whole scene. However, our boy isn't buying it, thinking redeem us. My ass, he's so over this. He sees Area, the goddess, and learns she's also the largest moneylender. Talk about a plot twist. The team trudges on, completely exhausted, just wanting to get some sleep. Mood. This dude is drained, but he's pushing through, knowing what's at stake. He's thinking they either lost their minds or something, but it's clear he's got a plan. He's got a symbol on his shoulder and declares he won't lose this time. Talk about a glow up. This dude starts walking forward, and the ground cracks beneath his feet. Things are getting intense. He shouts he's going to get revenge for everything that happened. Bro is serious. We get a close-up of his ripped torso, and honestly, he looks ready for war. Then everything goes dark, like completely black, but not for long. A hand reaches out toward a woman engulfed in red energy. It's a super dramatic moment. She's crying but smiling, and it's a total mind trip. What is even happening? Everything fades to black again, but those glowing particles are still falling. She's looking right at us now, tears streaming down her face. No way this is good. So, monsters aren't just randomly showing up. They're born from distortions in mana, which is like magical energy, okay? Most of these monsters are straight up hostile to humans, and have caused trouble for ages, but there's more to it than that. But here's the twist, monsters also give humanity opportunities, like mana stones and valuable materials for crafting. Bones, hides, mana stones. People realize monsters are basically walking treasure chests, and things start to change. Eventually, humanity starts viewing monsters as resources, which is kinda messed up, but you can see where this is going. Now, monster lairs and dungeons are popping up everywhere, and people are lining up to raid them. Our boy is stepping into one of these dungeons, and honestly, it looks like he's ready for war. He's moving with purpose, leading a squad, and you can feel the tension building with every step. This dude's seen some stuff, and he's prepared to face whatever lies ahead, but the real story is just beginning. He's leading the charge, and for a moment, he seems invincible, but we all know things are about to go sideways. Okay, so this dude is part of a special hunting team made up of slaves with serious combat skills. But get this, they get paid well, like a really high base salary, plus bonuses for killing monsters. Our boy is clearly desperate for money, asking someone for a loan, but it's not going well. He's already maxed out his borrowing limit, and the lender is now happy, straight up yelling at him. He insists there has to be a reason why he needs so much cash, and a mysterious woman shows up. She's offering him a deal, but it's a real bad one, selling his organs to predatory lenders. No way! He's demanding more recovery potions, and the shopkeeper groans because apparently, this happens all the time. Our boy is clearly pushing himself to the limit, racking up debt, and risking everything for something. However, the woman is shocked by his desperation, and starts questioning what's driving him. This dude is seriously obsessed with getting those recovery potions, and it's setting off alarm bells. Okay, so this dude is setting up a ton of holy water bottles, like a whole arsenal, and a nun is watching him. He's bandaging up his hands, looking all intense, while she stares at the bottles with a confused expression. Someone, a knight apparently, approaches and asks if he's Zephyr, the monster guide, but our boy doesn't respond. Zephyr just steps forward, ignoring the knight, and the knight is starting to get annoyed. But hold up, Zephyr smashes one of the holy water bottles on the ground, shattering it into pieces, and the knight is shocked. He's got a serious smirk on his face, and says perfect timing. This is getting good. The knight declares him the head of the recon unit, and Zephyr is just vibing with the chaos. Zephyr is straight up playing everyone, and honestly, this dude is a mastermind. He's got a plan, and he's fully leaning into it, even if it means messing with the knight. Zephyr is calculating, and that look in his eyes means something big is about to go down. Okay, so Zephyr is getting prepped for a dungeon run. Night vision and mana detection are his go-to skills. He's suddenly tasked with carrying a huge pack for some knights, and they're already judging him. One of the knights thinks he's a mana using minor, which is hilarious, and a total underestimation. They're questioning if he's going to solo the dungeon for them, but Zephyr is clearly unbothered. He's got a cold look on his face, realizing two of these knights are new, but he knows one of them. Bro, check out this knight's helmet. It's literally just a giant hammer. No way that's practical. The knights are walking ahead, casting long shadows, and it's setting a super ominous tone. Zephyr's skills are essential for sneaking into a dark dungeon without alerting the monsters, apparently. He's playing the helpless miner perfectly, but this dude is planning something massive. Our boy is straight up using these guys, and honestly, he deserves a little bit of chaos. Zephyr thinks he has a plan to use these knights to his advantage, and the smirk says it all. They're marching into the dungeon, and Zephyr is bringing up the rear. He's totally playing the support role. The knights are stepping carefully, trying not to alert any monsters, but Zephyr is just casually stomping around. One of the knights lets out a woo of relief, but Zephyr is still scanning the area. He's not letting his guard down. Suddenly, someone calls out "Hey," and Zephyr's eyes snap to the source. Something's definitely up. The knights are facing a group of other soldiers, and they reveal they're the standby unit. Basically backup. The standby unit is giving off major "we're here to clean up the mess" vibes, and Zephyr knows it. Zephyr is still playing dumb, letting the knights take the lead, but he's absorbing everything. However, the standby unit's leader is eyeing Zephyr suspiciously. This dude isn't fooled by the act. The standby unit announces they're there in case the main team fails, and it's a super ominous statement. Okay, so the knights are prepping Zephyr for this recon mission, wrapping his hand and giving him a pep talk. It's kinda sweet. They tie a cord around his wrist, and it looks like a signal or marker, but there's something off about the hooded figure doing it. We get a close-up of the hooded figure's face, and bro, those teeth are not normal. Something is seriously wrong here. The knights tell Zephyr it's just a recon mission, but he's clearly not buying it, and neither are we. They wish him good luck, and Zephyr is stepping into this dark tunnel, leaving the knights behind. This is it. He's moving fast like a blur, and the steep sound effects are intense. This dude is in full speedrun mode. The knights follow, but Zephyr is way ahead, leaving them in the dust. He's not waiting for anyone. The tunnel gets narrower and darker, and Zephyr is still pushing forward. He's determined to get this done. The knights are struggling to keep up, but Zephyr is practically flying through this place. No way they'll catch him. He's alone now, completely engulfed in darkness, but he keeps running. Our boy is a machine. Zephyr is deep in the tunnel, and something massive is blocking the path ahead. It's huge. Suddenly, a claw taps down right in front of him. Talk about a jump scare. This is straight up terrifying. Whatever it is, it's gigantic and clearly stalking him, and our boy is realizing he's walked into a trap. Okay, so our boy is facing off against the Demon King, and it's looking rough, to say the least. He unlocks this insane power, a silver key, that's basically a portable inventory. No way! But it's not enough. He gets completely wrecked, straight up obliterated by the Demon King. Then bam, he wakes up, but he's back in his own body as a weakling, and it's a total rewind. This dude is clearly getting a second chance, a do-over to prevent the apocalypse, and he's testing his powers. He's practicing storing stuff, starting with some dragon weed and a cloth, honestly a weird combo. He floats the items with his power, then drops them on some poor knight, who's understandably startled. Apparently, this dragon weed calms the mind, which is good because that knight looked stressed. He's telling everyone to stand back, and he's got that key glowing. Looks like he's ready for action. So, he's got a rewind, an inventory, and a plan. This is where things get interesting, bro. He's pulling this knight back, saying this is going to be intense. But the knight is resisting. The knight is freaking out, demanding to know what's going on, but our boy's face is pure determination. The knight tries to run, thinking our boy is losing it, but he's not about to let him escape. He declares he's going to die eventually, but refuses to go down like a coward, and starts to spring into action. Suddenly, the knight transforms. He's a monster now, and this dude is totally caught off guard. Our boy whips out his spear ready to fight, but the monster is fast. It attacks with incredible speed. The monster's claws are swinging, and it's a full-on clash of weapons. A straight-up brawl. The monster roars, and it's a terrifying sound, but our boy is holding his ground, barely. The monster lands a hit, and it's brutal. The impact sends shockwaves, and everything goes red. The monster is towering over him, and it's clear this fight is far from over. Things are getting real. He just remembered something. A few years ago, a monster attacked a nearby town, and it's hitting him hard. This dude recalls the townspeople just standing there, frozen, as the monster descended upon them. The monster was massive, bro, with rows of terrifying teeth, and it snatched a person right up. He sees a man desperately trying to fight it off with a pitchfork, but it's no use. The monster is way too strong. The pitchfork bounces off its hide, and honestly, it's like poking a tank with a toothpick. Our boy's remembering everything in horrific detail. The monster's shadow falling over the town. He's reliving the terror, the helplessness, and it's clear this memory is seriously messing with him. He's determined to change things, though. He won't let that happen again, no way. But it's a bleak realization. The townspeople didn't even blink. They were completely paralyzed with fear. He's staring off into the distance, vowing to prevent this disaster. This dude is seriously focused. There's nothing anyone can do as the monster closes in. They're totally helpless against it. But they aren't just standing there. They're waiting for their turn to be next. It's grim. Doom descends on this poor knight, and he's taking the full force of it. He's getting absolutely wrecked. Blood splatters everywhere. It's a brutal scene, honestly. Suddenly, a sword slices through the air, interrupting the attack with a loud clang. The knight looks up, confused and wounded, like, what just happened? Another sword swings in, slash echoing through the darkness, and everyone's asking, what's that sound? Swords keep flying, a swish cutting through the night. This is turning into a full-on battle. He's interrupting the monster's attack, but it's a desperate move, and it's not clear if it'll work. This dude is seriously wounded, but he's pushing through the pain. Our boy is a fighter. He's swinging that spear like his life depends on it. And it does, but the monster is just too fast. A clash of metal and claw sends sparks flying, but the monster's claws are ripping through his defense. The monster swipes again, and this dude barely dodges. It's a close call, honestly. He's going all out, dodging, weaving, and slashing, but the monster just keeps coming, relentless. Our boy launches a desperate attack, but the monster deflects it with a terrifying clang. He's backing up, trying to create some space, but the monster's closing in. This is bad. Another swing, another clang, but this time the monster's claws graze his side. Ouch. He's leaping back, a quick dash to escape, but the monster anticipates his move. No way. He swings again, a final slash, hoping to land a hit, but the monster just roars in response. This dude is exhausted, battered, and bruised, but he refuses to fall. What a fighter. He swallows some weird weed, expecting it to calm his nerves. And straight up, it works. But this dude has a secret skill that boosts potion effects by 500%, no joke. He tries to use this power, but realizes it needs a ridiculous amount of energy. Seriously. He focuses, channeling energy into his hand, and a glowing orb appears. It's getting intense. He's unleashing some serious power, and a green, slimy substance explodes outward. What is that? Turns out it's Belial, one of the 72 deadly poisons, and it's his old friend. Creepy. Someone questions if he's sure about using this poison, and honestly, good question. He's revealing he spent his life creating these formulas, and is just giving them away. He's handing over the formulas, but it's a risky move, and we all know it. However, he's clearly got a plan, because he's already thinking ahead to the next step. Okay, so he's handing over these poison formulas, and the Demon King is surprisingly okay with it. He straight up wants him to use them, and our boy is totally playing along. It's a wild move. This dude jumps into action, swinging his blade and coating it with the poison. It's messy but effective. He's thinking about saving lives, even if it means using something so dangerous. What a hero. He jabs the blade forward, and the poison goes flying. It's a full-on assault, but against what? He's completely lost in his mission, saying he couldn't be happier with this outcome. It's kinda creepy. But then the Demon King stabs him, right in the chest. No way, that came out of nowhere. The blade is covered in poison too, and it's dripping everywhere. This is bad, really bad. He's clearly getting the last laugh, even as he's being impaled. This dude is insane. However, the Demon King is smiling, and that's the last thing we see. Cliffhanger alert. He swings his sword, aiming to sever the Demon King's attack, but it's way too fast. The Demon King's monster's form is revealed. It's a nightmare with claws and teeth. He's completely overwhelmed, and the Demon King lands a final blow. It's over, man. Our boy is straight up exhausted, hacking and slashing his way through something, but he's clearly losing a fight. He pushes forward into a dark forest, breathing heavy, like he's been at this for days, and honestly, he probably has. This dude is ripped, but covered in wounds, desperately binding up his injuries, prepping for another round. He finds a man begging for his life, swearing he's not one of them, but it's too late. The Demon King arrives. The Demon King remembers something, and for a second, it looks like our boy might get a reprieve, but no. The Demon King unleashes a brutal attack, a whirlwind of chains and power, and it's absolutely devastating. He's getting crushed, and screams that he doesn't worship the god of demons, but the Demon King doesn't care. The Demon King's eyes are glowing red, and he just orders someone else to crush him. Cold-blooded. But then, no way. Our boy is sent hurtling backwards, flashing through time and space. He lands in the same forest, but now he's a kid, weak and vulnerable, and it's clear he has a second chance to change everything. Okay, so our boy is getting attacked by a freaking centipede monster straight up inside his head. It's sliding around and it's nasty, like burrowing into his skull no less. The centipede slits its way further in, and it's horrifying honestly. He unleashes some serious power, a massive blast of energy, trying to obliterate the thing. But the Demon King is still standing, casually licking blood from his sword. This dude is terrifying. He reveals he knew this guy was a Tartarus worshipper, which is ominous, to say the least. Now someone's yelling about 7 team members being killed for one rat, which feels understated. The camera pans up to a chandelier, and someone points out the awful kill-to-death ratio. Our boy is kneeling, defeated, staring at someone silhouetted in a window. It's a bleak scene. However, this is a flashback, and it's clear he's already plotting his revenge. Bro is focused. Okay, so our boy is tapping on a glass case with a scorpion inside. Weird flex, honestly. He's getting a briefing from Inquisitor Matthias, who straight up assumes the whole mining team is converted. Matthias is intense, staring down with those glowing eyes and that creepy symbol on his forehead. Someone's reporting in, and it's bad. A whole unit is gone, but Matthias doesn't even flinch. There's a shadowy figure observing everything from a window, plotting something sinister. The figure gives a curt "Yes, sir," and it's clear they're taking orders. This is getting heavy. They're asking about Zephyr, a new miner, and it feels like a setup, honestly. Someone requests to speak with Zephyr, and they get the okay, but something feels off about this whole exchange. The logo for Doombreaker flashes on screen, signaling this story is about to get wild. The sun rises over a massive, imposing building. The stage is set for a serious showdown, bro. This dude is laying a trap. He wants the credit if the new miner succeeds, and is straight up chuckling about it. He's saying life is all luck, but he's planning to steal someone else's hard work. No way. He's convinced he got lucky finding this miner and wants to pretend the fight with the Predator never happened. The Inquisitor is not buying it, demanding to know what he's talking about. The tension is real. He asks if this is about taking the monster corpses, and the Inquisitor is immediately suspicious. Our boy claims he only wants the Predator's corpse, and will leave the kobolds. Smooth move, bro. He tells the Inquisitor to tell his bosses this was just a kobold den, trying to downplay everything. The Inquisitor is silent for a beat, and his expression is intensy. Something is definitely off. He asks about the corpses again, demanding answers. This dude is not letting it go. Our boy insists he only wants the Predator's body, trying to act innocent, but it's clearly a lie. The temple lays down the law: anything slaves find belongs to them. Talk about a raw deal, bro. All a warrior slave gets for clearing a dungeon is a reward and a bonus based on the loot value. This dude thinks he can sell the loot to a broker for way more money. A risky move, honestly. The Overseer shuts that down immediately, saying there's a standby unit to prevent theft. Even if they did make a deal, the Overseer says a follow-up unit will check for stolen items anyway. He's giving the Overseer a sly look. This dude is definitely planning something sneaky. Suddenly, a key appears in his hand. Where did that come from? It's a total mystery. He says there was something hidden in the dungeon, and this key must unlock it. Then, a blinding flash of light erupts. What is going on? It's a portal. Our boy is getting sucked into a swirling vortex. This is wild. He just vaporized a massive monster, straight up erasing it from existence. No way. But the other warriors are losing it, realizing he doesn't have an inventory to hold anything. They're shocked he managed to make the monster ours and the blood disappear. This is getting intense. Our boy clenches his fist, radiating power, and honestly, it's a little intimidating. He claims he used to have an inventory, but it's gone now. A total mystery. Everyone's freaking out, questioning how he could pull off such a feat. They've never seen anything like it. This dude is straight up a walking anomaly, and the Overseer is clearly concerned. The overseer demands to know what's happening, but our boy just smirks. He's playing this perfectly. He casually says he'll clear the next dungeon, and honestly, it's a power move. However, the overseer isn't buying it, and is already planning to keep a close eye on him. Our boy makes a deal. He'll take on lower-level dungeons like kobold dens, but he gets to keep the monster corpses. What? The recon unit complains they never get to fight, but this dude's arrival totally changes the game for them. He's promising to clear the first dungeon, and honestly, it's a bold move considering his situation. But with someone as powerful as him on the team, everything shifts. They're about to get serious. Okay, so this dude is getting interrogated. It's intense, and he's being accused of something big. Someone's watching from the shadows, eyes narrowed, and they clearly don't believe a word our boy says. Turns out, this whole scene is a flashback because straight up, humanity is getting destroyed by demons. Our boy fights the Demon King. It's an all-out brawl, but honestly, he's getting wrecked. No way, he's completely overwhelmed, and the Demon King delivers a final, devastating blow. But then, something crazy happens. He wakes up, and it's not just waking up, he's a kid again. He's back at his weakest, but he remembers everything, and he's already planning his revenge. This dude knows all about the Tartarus worshippers, the demons, the gods, everything. It's a lot. He declares he knows about them better than anyone, and it's clear he's about to change the future. He's going to stop the apocalypse before it even starts, and honestly, we're here for it. Okay, so it turns out the Tartarus worshippers are the ones who caused the downfall. Big shocker. This dude, all stoic and powerful, is laying down the law, and it's clear he's not messing around. He explains how he ended up working for Inquisitor Matthias, and it involves some serious betrayals. He's got a blade, and he's ready to question someone. But it's not a friendly chat, trust me. He starts the interrogation, and straight up warns them that everything they say will be used against them. Dramatic sword point, ominous music, this is getting intense, and the tension is unreal. Someone calls him arrogant, but our boy doesn't even flinch. He's ice cold. He's looking down on them and they're asking why. Like, what even happened to make him this way? He's standing tall, a total power move, and the other guy is clearly questioning everything. The look on his face is pure determination. He's changing the past, and we're so ready for it. Everyone's watching, and our boy points out there are way too many eyes on them right now. Some blonde dude thinks he's got the upper hand, but this dude is seriously underestimating our hero. He's about to teach these guys a lesson, and it looks like he's powering up something huge. No way! He activates Red Field, a skill that boosts allies, but it's only working at a limited capacity. The field explodes with energy, and the inscriptions on the floor start glowing. It's intense. He's surrounded by a red barrier, and it's clear this skill is about to change everything. The text explains the skill further. It amps up stats, but only if more casters are present. Everything's crackling with energy, and he's standing in the center of the glowing field. The skill description reveals it's not at full power. He's barely scratching the surface. Honestly, he's unleashing the full force of Red Field, and it's a straight-up power, up for everyone on his side. He's sizing up the Demon King, thinking this fight will be interesting. Honestly, big talk. He's clapping his hands together, like let's get this over with, and then starts gathering energy. He decides to use some sort of energy blade. It's glowing and looks seriously dangerous. He swings, and the Demon King just casually blocks with a single finger. What? The Demon King attacks, a huge blast of energy rushing straight for our boy. He dodges, but the Demon King is relentless. Attack after attack comes flying in. He's weaving through the attacks, using everything he's got, but it's a straight-up onslaught. The Demon King's attacks are getting faster, and our boy is barely holding on. It's intense. He's hit, sent flying backwards, and the Demon King just keeps coming. This is bad, really bad. More attacks land, and it's a flurry of light and power. But our boy isn't going down without a fight. He's going all out, energy blade swinging, but the Demon King just swats it aside like it's nothing. The Demon King counters with a blast, and our boy barely ducks under it. That was close. He's trying to circle around, get an opening, but the Demon King is predicting every move. Another attack lands, this time a direct hit, and he's sent flying, straight into a wall. He's down, but not out, and tries to get up, summoning more energy. He's refusing to give up. The Demon King unleashes another massive attack, and this dude is completely overwhelmed. He's getting pummeled, energy blasts hitting him from every angle, but he's still fighting back. Another blast connects, sending him crashing down, and honestly, it looks brutal. He's pinned, helpless, and the Demon King is raising his hand for the final blow. It's over, right? But then, a voice yells, "I got him," and a shadow appears intercepting the attack. No way! The Demon King's leg is impossibly strong, like straight-up steel, and he's blocking the final attack. He swings a massive, energy-charged punch aimed right at the Demon King's face. This is a haymaker. Bam! The punch connects, sending a shockwave, but the Demon King barely flinches. What a tank! He follows up with another blow, a brutal strike to the gut, but the Demon King just absorbs it all. The Demon King retaliates with a sword, a flash of red energy, and our boy barely manages to deflect it. However, the sword slips past his guard, cutting his arm. Ouch, that looked painful. He's reeling, stumbling backwards, trying to regain his footing. But the Demon King is relentless. Another swing, another blast of energy, and he's sent flying again. This is getting old fast. He crashes to the ground, taking a beating, but still manages to launch himself forward, fists flying. But the Demon King just sighed, steps everything, leaving our boy completely exposed. And honestly, it's over. The Demon King unleashes a massive punch, and our boy takes the full force. It sends him flying. This dude is getting absolutely wrecked, but he grits his teeth and forces himself up, refusing to stay down. He's clearly injured, sweat dripping, eyes burning, but he's still staring down the Demon King. Talk about guts. But then, everything goes white, and he's suddenly back at square one. Straight up, his younger self? No way! Okay, so the story starts with a bang. This dude, Sahar, is straight up getting wrecked by a monster. Everyone around him is murmuring, totally shocked by what's happening. But it's too late for Sahar. Sahar is getting absolutely destroyed, fists flying, and the ground is cracking under the force of the blows. He's taking a beating, gritting his teeth, but honestly, this dude had it coming. He was outmatched. But then, out of nowhere, Sahar just walks forward, all calm and collected even while getting pummeled. He drops the monster with one hit, which is insane, but then calmly announces the first part of his plan is done. Our boy is still stepping forward, looking super confident as he lays out his next move. It's kinda creepy. He's waiting to see when someone will figure out what happened, but he's not worried, not one bit. Sahar knows it's only a matter of time before the news gets out, and he's ready for whatever comes next. He's standing there, overlooking everything, and you just know this is going to be a wild ride. Sahar unleashes a massive skill, but it drains him. He's feeling the pain of mana freeze immediately. He collapses, clutching his side, and straight up says his body from 10 years ago isn't cutting it. This dude realizes that skill used way more mana than he expected, which, yeah, rookie mistake. He's desperate, thinking he needs to do something before whatever the collection is begins. A swirling purple energy erupts around him, and honestly, it looks terrifying. Who is making this happen? The energy is intensifying, growing wilder, and it's like a vortex of power is forming around Sahar. He's getting completely enveloped in the purple glow, and the energy is just whooshing everywhere. But wait, it seems like this whole mana freeze thing isn't just exhaustion. It's a setup for something bigger. Sahar is getting pulled into the energy, and it's like he's being reborn. No way, this is good. The energy explodes, and our boy is gone, leaving behind only swirling purple remnants. What a cliffhanger! He's climbing, desperate to escape, but this wall of iron, skill, is seriously draining him. A creepy figure appears, announcing he'll start collecting for the skill, and it's bad news. The wall of iron isn't just defense. It's basically a debt system for damage, which is wild. Whatever damage he takes while using the skill gets saved up, and hits him all at once when his mana's gone. Apparently, tons of adventurers tried this skill on harder dungeons, and well, they died going bankrupt. This Sword of Yuzra, God of Debt, sounds terrifying, and is honestly a terrible idea. He's furious, calling someone a greedy bastard. Our boy is not happy about this setup. Suddenly, blue energy explodes around him, and strange symbols are forming in the air. He's overwhelmed by the energy, looking shocked, and it's like the skill is taking over. The energy intensifies, and he's completely engulfed. What is happening to him right now? The Demon King completes some kind of measurement and straight up declares it's done. Creepy. Our boy feels his body getting heavy and starts counting down from 8. Something is seriously wrong. He's struggling, trying to move, but his body is failing him, and he's down to 7. He pushes through the pain, determined to do something, but he's losing strength fast. 6. This dude staggers and slumps to the ground, completely exhausted, now at 5. He's barely holding on, desperately trying to fight, but it's no use. 4. The pain intensifies, and he's collapsing. 3, 2, and 1. He's completely drained, and a syringe appears on his arm. injecting something directly into him? He's overwhelmed with energy, but it feels wrong, and the Demon King is definitely up to something. Our boy is wrecked, but he's still trying to fight. This is going to be a long road. The Demon King is radiating power, and our boy is straight up obliterated. It's a total beatdown. But instead of dying, he's yanked back, chained up, and gets a weird injection. What is this sorcery? He's falling, tumbling through the air, and these golden chains are tightening around him. No way. The chains are pulling him toward a massive, ornate structure. It looks like a golden throne or something. He slams into it, and honestly, this dude is getting wrecked again, but something's different. The throne breaks apart, and a blinding light erupts. Is this some kind of rebirth ritual? He's getting smaller, younger. No way, he's being sent back in time to when he was a kid. Now he's a little kid, but with all his memories, and he's determined to change the future. He vows to become strong enough to stop the Demon King, and this time, he's not messing around. This dude is about to speedrun the apocalypse, and I am cheer for it. Let's go! The Demon King just casually announces he'll collect the debt later. What a power move. He's hit with some kind of energy blast, and everything just poofs. It's a total disintegration. Our boy hits the ground, exhausted, but he's grinning. This dude is not giving up easily. He taunts the Demon King, saying he underestimated him. Talk about confidence, even when wrecked. He's standing in a dark, creepy place, and declares avoiding the Demon King's collection is nothing. He's channeling mana and straight up says a wall of iron is a totally safe plan. Yeah, okay. He thinks this skill was worth 500 gold, but skills have always been expensive, and this one is about to cost him. He's pointing, all cocky, and you can tell he's planning something big. This is a wild turnaround. But the Demon King is back, and he's crushing everything in sight. This is getting intense. The Demon King is obliterating the area, and honestly, this dude is in serious trouble again. The room creaks, and it's a total mood killer. Something's definitely off. Our boy flinches, because whatever made that sound is clearly messing with his head. He's totally confused. Like, what is even happening right now? But wait, the Demon King is back and ready to finish this dude off. No cap! Okay, so the story starts with this dude facing off against the Demon King. A total last stand situation. He's getting absolutely wrecked. But then a mysterious woman shows up, seemingly out of nowhere, and starts yelling at everyone. This woman, who's clearly a badass, straight up demands the two fighters get out, and they actually listen. No questions asked. But here's the twist: she turns around, and starts laying the smackdown on our boy, sending him flying with a single hit. She doesn't hold back, slamming the door shut and leaving him crumpled on the floor. Ouch. Then, no way, the door slams again, and this time it's a full-on Todd, practically shaking the whole place. He's still reeling, but he manages to lift his head and look up at her, clearly shocked by the attack. She's completely unfazed, and honestly, this dude had it coming. She's not messing around. However, it turns out this whole beatdown wasn't just random. She's sending him back in time, back to when he was at his weakest. Now our boy is getting a second chance, and he's gonna speedrun the apocalypse before it even starts. It's gonna be epic. He's recovering, and learns this mysterious woman is Anna Primrose, a nun, but also White Rose, a monster gear broker. Our boy overhears some hunters talking smack about needing better gear for the dungeon raid. They're gonna get wrecked with what they have. He realizes this is his chance to get ahead, so he decides to make a deal with White Rose for some serious upgrades. She's playing it cool, but you can tell she's sizing him up. This isn't a simple transaction, bro. White Rose explains she deals in monster corpses, stolen goods, and gear, which is a lot. This is getting shady. He's all business, stating he needs the best gear possible, and doesn't care about the price. This dude is serious. But White Rose isn't impressed with his money. She wants to know why he needs such powerful equipment. He explains the dungeon raid is a suicide mission with their current gear, and they'll all die. Straight up brutal honesty. She's intrigued by his bluntness, and a smirk plays on her lips. She's starting to see his potential. This deal is happening, and our boy is about to get a serious power up. It's gonna change everything. Okay, so our boy is recovering in bed, and White Rose and another nun are tending to him. It's a sweet scene. But the dude suddenly snaps, flipping out on them. No way, what's with the rage? They try to calm him down, telling him to rest, but he's completely losing it, demanding to know something. He's furious, clutching the sheets, and asks if they know who did this to him. The intensity is real. He's practically screaming, demanding answers, and White Rose is just standing there, observing everything. He's absolutely ballistic, eyes glowing, and straight up threatens whoever is responsible. This is a new side of him. White Rose's superior walks in, annoyed by the commotion, and demands to know what's going on. Talk about bad timing. But White Rose steps in, smoothly saying she'll take care of it, and her boss just gives her a knowing look. She's all smiles now, casually telling him they'll handle everything. She's playing a dangerous game. However, this whole scene feels off, like White Rose is deliberately provoking him. She's up to something. Okay, so White Rose is laying it on thick. She's saying everyone's been talking about him getting wrecked all night. She insists there's nothing to worry about, but this dude is not buying it. He's getting suspicious. Suddenly, a blade comes flying, and our boy barely blocks it with his own. Slam, right in the face. He's reeling, demanding to know what's happening, but White Rose just smirks. She's totally playing him. She reveals she's been holding back, and that Inquisitor Matthias warned them not to embarrass him. What a twist! But she drops a bomb. He got his butt kicked in front of a bunch of slaves, and she makes it clear she doesn't care. She's straight up calling him a mutt on the street. Ouch, that's brutal, and honestly, he kinda deserved it. This dude is furious, clearly humiliated, but he's trying to keep it together. It's a tense standoff. However, White Rose is still pushing his buttons, and it's obvious she's enjoying every second of this. She's basically daring him to react, and our boy is just barely holding on to his composure. This is escalating fast. White Rose lays down the truth. They expected him to hunt down 2 Tartarus worshippers in 6 months. But he only managed 2. She's straight up saying her superiors are losing faith in him. She finishes the beatdown, declaring he's made a mockery of the Inquisitor title. Ouch, harsh! Suddenly, a mysterious figure steps forward, and honestly, this guy looks terrifying. What's going on? The figure grabs White Rose, accusing her of letting their agent disgrace the organization. It's a power move. White Rose insists she was testing him, but the figure isn't buying it. She's in trouble now. The figure demands to know why he was allowed to fail, and White Rose tries to explain. She's scrambling. However, the figure isn't interested in excuses. He's focused on fixing the mess, no matter the cost. He declares they'll handle things from now on, and White Rose just glares. This is a full takeover. The figure delivers a final blow, sending our boy crashing to the ground. T-cheed, and it looks painful. This dude is desperate. He's offering to do anything if they just spare him, no pride left at all. But the figure doesn't care about pleas, demanding he first humiliate the man on the ground. No way, he's literally about to step on this poor guy's face. It's brutal. And honestly, this dude had it coming after failing so spectacularly. The figure leans down, making it clear he'll decide what happens next. Total control freak. The humiliated man's face is a mess of fear and desperation. It's kinda heartbreaking. Suddenly, the figure tosses him a sack. What is going on? He tells him to use this, and the man reluctantly throws the sack onto the downed figure. But the sack isn't what it seems. It's full of something horrifying, judging by that expression. His eyes widen in pure terror. This dude is about to have a row bad time, I can feel it. Okay, so the figure is handing over this weird, glowing orb. It's radiating some serious dark energy. Ned, that's the humiliated guy, is freaking OT, asking what this even is. The figure explains it came from the room of a Tartarus worshipper they caught, and it's up to Ned if he wants to use it. But here's the kicker. The figure points out Ned has absolutely nothing to lose by trying it out. Seriously, this dude is offering power to someone he just crushed. That's a bold move. Okay, so the story starts with Doombreaker. Pretty metal, right? Our boy is now part of this group, and they're having a super awkward get-to-know-each-other dinner. Everyone introduces themselves, and Goat is straight up flexing with his armor spirit. Then this dude named Dale shows up, apparently a sword prodigy who joined just 3 months ago. They're all chatting, enjoying bread and cheese, when suddenly someone speaks up. Oh, and it's a total mood killer, because this guy is clearly skeptical of the whole situation. But the atmosphere shifts when they reveal Dale only joined 3 months ago, which is kinda sus. However, the others brush it off, and Dale seems pretty chill, making a peace sign and all. Everyone seems friendly enough, and the mood is lightening up after that awkward moment. Things seem okay for now, but you just can't something is about to go down with this group, right? Okay, so things are tense, everyone's staring daggers, and our boy asks why they're all so uptight. Then Goat drops a bomb, they're ALL in debt, and it's serious business. But before anyone can freak out, the silver-haired dude steps in, saying he has something to say. He starts to speak, and honestly, his expression is kinda creepy. And then, no way, he declares he doesn't drink, then starts reaching under the table. It's a total scramble as he pulls out something hidden, and everyone's reacting hard. Turns out he's got a whole stash of alcohol, and he's trying to sneak a drink. Everyone is shocked, but Dale is straight up furious that he's hiding it. However, the silver-haired dude is downplaying it, saying he just likes to relax. But the tension is still super thick, and you just know this secret stash is gonna cause problems. Okay, so the silver-haired dude offers everyone a drink, a really expensive one apparently. He's all let's work together, but Dale's immediately suspicious and honestly, he should be. Dale blurts out he knows this guy from a past life, and it's clear he doesn't trust him one bit. Turns out they were in the same unit, and Dale's sizing him up, trying to figure out what's changed. The others raise their glasses, but Dale's still skeptical. He's got a bandage on his arm, looking all battle-worn. They clink glasses, but the silver-haired dude's expression is unreadable. This guy is hiding something. But suddenly, the mood shifts. The silver-haired dude is radiating an intense, almost predatory vibe. He's staring right at Dale, and it's clear this friendly toast is anything but. Dale is totally focused on the silver-haired dude, and you can tell he's preparing for a fight. However, the silver-haired dude's gaze is icy. He's playing a long game, and our boy is right in the middle of it. Okay, so the silver-haired dude is dropping some serious truth bombs. People like those who give them what they want. He's laying it out: money for those who crave it, success for those who hustle. Straight up manipulative. But this dude isn't playing nice. He's got a cold glint in his eye, and he's making it clear he's not like everyone else. He's telling Dale this assignment is a big deal, but it feels less like a team pep talk and more like a threat. The others are level 4, but Dale and another guy are level 5, which is apparently a huge deal. People will treat them differently now. However, the silver-haired dude's not interested in how the levels change things. He's focused on power and control. He says he's not the type to play nice with someone who doesn't like him. And honestly, good for him for being real. But the vibe is totally off. He's got this smug little smirk, and you know he's planning something. He's staring down at someone, probably Dale, and it's clear this is about to escalate. No way around it. And just when you think things can't get any more tense, the screen cuts to black. Talk about a cliffhanger. Someone is seriously questioning Dale's deal with the miner, straight up accusing him of being knave. Dale tries to explain he's the leader and needed to make a call, but this guy isn't having it. He wanted a say. But honestly, the dude is getting way too worked up. He's practically spitting mad about the miner. He's convinced the miner lied about everything and thinks Dale fell for it while unconscious. Major side eye. The blonde dude is losing it, yelling about a miner beating a predator. It's a bit much, TB. Someone tells everyone to quiet down because they might be overheard, shushing the blonde like a kid. Turns out the miner is already part of their unit, and they're already splitting rewards 3 ways. So, the blonde dude is still skeptical, but they're just gonna wait and see how things play out. Dale is clearly not thrilled with the interrogation, but he's trying to keep it cool. And honestly, this whole situation is a mess, but our boy is trying to navigate it. Okay, so this dude is laying into Dale and Marco, calling them hopeless, harsh, but fair. He's ranting about how Dale doesn't know what he's doing, and Marco just likes him, which is a choice. But he quickly pivots to saying he can spot trouble when he sees it, and Dale is definitely bringing it. He thinks Dale is scamming them, but they'll find out soon enough if that's true, so they're willing to wait. This guy is straight up scoffing at Dale, saying talking big won't get you far in their line of work. Turns out they're the hunting team, and they raid dungeons for a living. That's a pretty solid gig, honestly. The team is moving out, heading towards a cave town carved into the mountainside centuries ago. They're trekking through the wilderness, and it's a long haul. 2 days' ride from the temple. Wow. Dale is amazed by this hidden place, and it's hard to blame him. A whole town in a mountain. And honestly, this place looks seriously ominous. I have a bad feeling about this. Okay, so the inn is way more than it seems. Living rooms, bedrooms, kitchens, the whole shebang. Turns out this place is a hub for temple missions and folks seeking healing, which is kinda wholesome. But hold up, this inn isn't just cozy, it's crawling with monsters, and things get real creepy fast. He takes a step inside, and the place is a total disaster. Broken furniture, dark stains, and webbing everywhere. Another step, and it's even worse. This inn is seriously messed up, a straight-up nightmare zone. He reaches out, and you can feel the man is surging. This place is soaked in it. No way! Our boy is deep inside now, and it's pitch black, but those glowing threads are still everywhere. Another step, and it's just more of the same: ruined furniture, shadowy corners, and unsettling silence. He keeps moving forward, and the tension is insane. This dude is walking into a trap, I just know it. He's reaching for something, but honestly, this whole situation is giving me serious bad vibes. Okay, so our boy is about to go in, and he's straight up declaring it's time to get started. Talk about confidence? No way, these spider things are swarming him, like a whole horde of creepy crawlies descending from above. He's moving fast, grabbing a guy, but things are already looking rough. He's clearly outnumbered and in trouble. This dude is pulling someone back, trying to save them, but the spider things are relentless and closing in. He grabs one of the spider heads, and honestly, it looks like he's trying to rip it apart with his bare hands. The spider's claw is coming down, and it's about to slice right through him. This is intense. He's getting bitten multiple times, and it's not looking good, but he's still trying to fight them off. The spider's claw cracks, but it's a small victory. These things are seriously tough, and there's still so many. He's locked onto one of the spiders, trying to hold it back, but it's a full-on struggle, a desperate grasp. The spider bites down, right near his face, and he's just staring at it, like what is even happening? He unleashes a massive punch, channeling all his energy into one blow. It looks devastating. He's going all out, another powerful strike, but the spider things are blocking with their limbs. The impact sends a shockwave, and one of the spiders goes flying, but honestly, there are still so many. This dude is taking a beating, getting knocked back, and the spider things are closing in for the kill. He yells for everyone to gather around, like he's about to do something big. It's a desperate gamble. The spider things charge, but our boy is ready, standing firm against the onslaught. He's launching attacks, taking down spiders left and right, but they just keep coming. It's non-stop. A spider's claw breaks off, but he's clearly injured, and he's still taking damage. Ouch! He's trying to push them back, making space, but the spider things are relentless and just won't budge. The spiders are swarming him, and it's getting chaotic, like a massive, terrifying rain of claws. Okay, so the spiders are launching webs, and our boy is like, let's do this. He's got a plan. He knows this is a long shot, but he's telling Marco to cover his hammer with his cloak. Seriously. Then he orders Dale and Goat to do the same with their weapons. This dude is prepping for war. He tells them to use the cloaked weapons to slice through the spider webs, and it actually works. Straight up, they're slashing through the webs like it's nothing. It's a surprisingly effective tactic. But the spiders aren't just sitting there, they're attacking, and things get messy fast. Spiders are getting hit, webs are flying, and there's a whole lot of spurt sound effects going on. They're breaking through, but it's a chaotic brawl. The spiders are still swarming them. It's a full-on assault, with impacts and slashes all over the place, and our boy is leading the charge. However, they're making progress, and the spiders are starting to fall, which is a huge relief. Our boy is freaking out. There are so many spiders, it's honestly terrifying. Someone yells at him to hurry up, but he's already swinging his sword like a madman. He's slashing through spiders left and right, but they just keep coming. No way this is slowing them down. Spiders are leaping, dashing, swinging. It's a full-on arachnid assault, and it's getting intense. He manages to slice one spider in half, but another one is already pouncing, and it's close. He swings again, narrowly missing another spider, and it's a chaotic blur of blades and legs. Another spider lunges, but this dude deflects it with his sword. He's a straight-up spider-slaying machine. He's slicing and swinging, trying to clear a path, but it feels like an endless wave of creepy crawlies. He's getting overwhelmed, but he's still fighting, refusing to back down, even with a spider right in his face. He's clearly stressed, but he's holding his own. For now, this fight is far from over. The Demon King unleashes a massive attack, and it's straight up overwhelming. Everything goes white. Our boy tries to fight back, yelling that he'll deal with it, but the power difference is insane. He gets completely blasted, and it looks bad, like really, really bad. But then, whoa, a flash of light, and suddenly he's back younger, weaker, and it's a total rewind. He's reliving the day the monsters first appeared, and he's realizing he has a second chance. He immediately starts planning, thinking he needs to stop this before it even begins. The team manages to wipe out the remaining spiders, but they're all beat up and exhausted. This dude's got a serious gash, and it looks deep. He's throbbing with pain. He admits he underestimated them, and honestly, he totally should have. Now he knows what's coming, and he's determined to break the cycle, no matter what it takes. Someone's shoving a drink at him, telling him to down it. It's some weird potion. Apparently, he realizes the Demon King knew everything during the fight, including that he got stuck in the webs first. This dude's thinking about how the Demon King isn't totally useless, which is unsettling, to say the least. The Demon King's chuckling and clenching his fist, and honestly, it's kinda creepy. He admits he trained a ton of unskilled fighters in his past life, and most of them were hopeless. He's flashing back to training those guys, and they really did look terrible, no cap. He says everyone makes mistakes, and tells this dude to just try not to repeat them. It's surprisingly nice. But actually, he thinks this guy isn't that bad, which is a total 180 from earlier. He's planning to train him up. It's like a weird mentor moment, and we're here for it. He's admitting he had to train a lot of unskilled fighters in his past life too. Talk about a glow up. He's sizing up this other fighter, thinking words won't cut it. This dude needs a real lesson. But the other guy is totally suspicious, wondering why our boy is even here, and honestly, fair enough. The fight explodes, blade meets blade, and it's a straight-up whirlwind of steel and speed. He's dodging, weaving, but this other fighter is relentless, pushing him back with a flurry of attacks. Our boy gets slammed into a wall, THMP, but he's already got a plan brewing, a little trick up his sleeve. He yells it worked, as he lands a hit, revealing he dosed his opponent with a paralyzing drug. The drug slows the fighter down, giving our boy the opening he needs to finish the job. He's finally beating this dungeon, but it's clear he's still got a long way to go to stop the apocalypse. Okay, so our boy is a veteran hunter, and he's got a whole squad with him. They've been on a lot of runs. He admits he always picks the easy routes, avoiding danger whenever possible, and honestly, smart move. He thinks he's just clearing simple dungeons with his team, but it's all a bit too easy, and he sees through it. They stumble on some weak mana stones guarded by kobolds, and this dude straight up says they aren't worth the effort. But then a powerful guy shows up, demanding they've done their part and ordering our boy to lower his head. Sketchy. This dude explains he never got promoted because he prioritized survival, and he's totally fine with that, which is fair. However, the powerful guy just dismisses the entire team, telling them to leave, and it's clear something's wrong. The hunter tries to reason with him, but the powerful guy doesn't care and just wants them gone. Major red flag. One of the hunters asks if they can stay, hoping to help, but it's a total waste of breath. The powerful guy just stares them down, radiating power, and honestly, this is about to go south fast. So, the powerful guy's laying down the law. He wants everyone working together, and Dale better get with the program. Dale speaks up, questioning this dude's orders and immediately regrets it. This guy is not messing around. He threatens to kill Dale if he doesn't fall in line, and Zephyr's demanding to know what's going on. But the powerful guy ignores him. This powerful guy Zephyr starts assigning rules, and it's clear he's planning something huge, and probably evil. He's got this creepy smirk on his face, and honestly, it's super unsettling, like he's already won. Suddenly, everything starts shaking, and these purple energy threads explode out, trapping everyone. No way! Zephyr is walking through this web of energy, totally unfazed, while everyone else is freaking out. He's heading towards some kind of glowing portal, and it looks like this whole place is a trap. The energy webs are tightening, and it's clear nobody can escape. This is bad, really bad. Zephyr steps into the portal, leaving everyone behind, and straight up declares this is just the beginning. Zephyr announces they've reached the heart of the dungeon, and it's seriously creepy in here. Giant spiders start dropping from the ceiling, and our boy instantly knows this is a trap. No surprise there. He steps forward, but the ground gives way, and he plummets into a web-filled cavern. Talk about a fall. He tries to brace for impact, but the webs cushion his fall. It's a little too convenient, honestly. Turns out, he's landed right in the lair of the queen spider, and it's surrounded by her spider eggs. A massive, armored spider, a night guardian, drops down, ready to defend its queen, and it looks terrifying. The scroll reveals this spider is a protector of the queen spider's spawning lair, and it's about to get messy. The queen spider herself is huge bro, and she's definitely the boss of this place. Straight up nightmare fuel. Zephyr's foot touches one of the webs and it vibrates. He's testing the area, cautious as always. The spider senses him and flinches, but Zephyr doesn't even react. This dude is ice cold. A night spider hisses and Zephyr realizes he's been spotted. Sneaking is officially off the table. He assesses the situation and announces he can't go any further. But this dude isn't backing down. The queen spider is revealed, and she's absolutely massive, surrounded by webs and looking menacing. We learn the night spiders guard the spawning lair and rarely move. They're basically stationary sentries. The lair itself is a horrifying sight, covered in webs and egg sacs, but Zephyr's got a plan brewing. He activates the silver key, and a glowing energy envelopes his hand. Whatever this is, it's powerful. He pulls out several bags and they're filled with plain flour. No way, what is he doing? Zephyr starts flinging the flour around like a madman, creating a huge cloud. It's a bold move, honestly. He announces he's using the flour, but it sounds like a super complicated strategy. We'll see if it works. Zephyr throws more flour, creating a total whiteout, and he's making a break for it. Talk about a chaotic escape. Zephyr's drawing back his bow, aiming for the Spider Queen. He's going for a one-shot kill, no doubt. He fires and the arrow flies with insane speed, but the Queen swats it away like it's nothing. Seriously? The Spider Queen unleashes a haze of webs, completely obscuring Zephyr, and she's moving in for the kill. Zephyr's scrambling, trying to dodge the webs, but they're too fast. He's getting trapped fast. He manages to break free, but the Spider Queen's already closing in, and her claws are massive. This is bad. Zephyr's weapon clicks into place, and he's prepping another shot, but he's surrounded by webs. Talk about pressure. He fires again and the arrow streaks through the air, aimed right for the Spider Queen's head. A risky move. The arrow hits, and there's a huge burst of energy, but the Spider Queen barely flinches. She's way tougher than he thought. A web wraps around his arm and he's yanked forward. Our boy is in deep trouble, straight up. The Spider Queen slams down, cracking the ground, and Zephyr barely dodges, but the force sends him flying. Boom, the Spider Queen gets blasted back, but she's barely phased. This dude is seriously strong. He's already dashing away, moving like a blur, but the Spider Queen isn't giving up. She's right behind him. Zephyr's got that focused look, like he's calculating his next move, and says of course, he's got a plan. She tries to stop him, but Zephyr dodges with insane reflexes. That was way too close for comfort. He's reeling, but he keeps firing arrows, pinning the Spider Queen down. He's relentless, I'll give him that. But she just shrugs off the arrows. They barely make a dent. No way, this is frustrating. She hisses, launching another web attack, and Zephyr's forced to defend, deflecting with his bow. It's a full-on clash. The Spider Queen's claws screech against the stone and Zephyr's arrow glances off. He's trying so hard. He fires another arrow, and it actually sticks. But she doesn't even seem to notice. What does it even take to hurt this thing? She declares this isn't enough to kill them, and honestly, it's a little ominous. She's playing a long game. Okay, so Zephyr's dodging a hail of poison arrows. It's intense, straight up, and realizes what they are. But the arrows keep coming, and one grazes his arm. He's taking damage, no way. He's slicing through them, but there's just too many. Okay, so our boy is facing off against the Demon King, telling everyone to just dish out as much damage as possible. He's got a plan, a risky one. Distract the Demon King while someone else does the real work, but it's a long shot. The Demon King is huge, like seriously massive and radiating fire, straight up terrifying. Honestly, this dude is running full speed toward the monster, probably thinking he can pull this off. A little reckless if you ask me. He's bracing for impact, weapon raised, looking determined, but also kinda scared. Can't blame him though. The Demon King slams into him, and you can feel the impact through the panel. It's brutal, no way. But plot twist, instead of dying, this dude gets sent back in time, all the way to when he was weak. Now he knows what's coming, so he's determined to change things, to prevent the apocalypse before it even starts. He's gotta speedrun this whole thing, level up fast, and become strong enough to take on the Demon King again. Someone's yelling for him to make something, and honestly, we're left hanging. What does this mean? These hunters are straight up mocking him, saying he's not on their level, which is kinda harsh, honestly. They're talking about needing to earn their keep, and then burst out laughing. Super condescending, bro. Our boy is livid, yelling about being sick of being treated like he's useless, and you can feel his anger. He grits his teeth, clenching his sword, and declares he's already come this far. He won't back down now. He's saying they can fight whatever this thing is, a huge shift from his earlier frustration, and honestly, good for him. He's lunging forward, sword raised, looking absolutely determined. This dude is ready to fight. The hunters join the attack, their weapons clashing against the monster. But it's clear this thing is on another level. They're saying they never imagined fighting a monster like this, and it's a total understatement. It's terrifying. The monster's attacks are relentless, and the hunters are barely holding on, desperately trying to defend themselves. It's a chaotic battle, blades flashing, monster roaring. But our boy is right in the thick of it, fighting like his life depends on it. Someone notices something's off since Zephyr showed up, like a vibe shift or something. It's ominous, bro. Zephyr's riding this massive spider-like creature, looking totally unbothered, and honestly, it's intimidating. One of the hunters remembers Zephyr's predictions coming true, so they decide to trust him again. Smart move, finally. They're hyped, yelling about being able to do this, and the energy is actually contagious, but it's short-lived. The monster attacks and one hunter gets clipped. C-Rap, this is getting real fast. The unit leader is furious, saying they've never listened to him, and now they're paying for it. If they keep fighting, the leader declares he'll join them, because apparently he can't just let them mess up alone. He's gearing up, looking determined, and it's a good look. But is it enough to turn the tide? The hunters charge forward, swords raised, ready to fight, but the monster is just too much. It's a desperate struggle, blades clashing, monster roaring, and our boy is right there in the middle of it all. Okay, so someone yells to aim for the weak spot on the monster's armor, the part the explosion blew off. This dude leaps in, sword flashing, straight up stabbing for that exposed area. It's a risky move! He gets through the armor and it's soft underneath. No way, what is going on? He pushes the sword deeper, and the monster's skin gives way. But it's like nothing's really happening. He's really going for it, twisting the blade, trying to find a vital spot, but the monster just shrugs it off. The monster swings its hammer, and this dude barely dodges. That was C-Loss, bro. The hammer connects, sending a shockwave, and everything starts cracking around them. But before the hammer can fully crush him, someone yells to aim for another spot. Seriously. Our boy tries again, but the monster's defenses are still too strong. It's frustrating to watch. The monster just keeps swinging, and honestly, it feels like they're just delaying the inevitable. Okay, so he's got a plan. Coat his sword in tranquilizer and slice the monster's vines. He whirls and slices, and the blade actually connects, sending a wave of energy through the vines. It's working. He's grinning because it went in, but he's way too close to the monster's mouth. Yikes! He's trying to yank the sword free, but the monster's gripping it tight. This is not good. The monster pulls, and our boy is yanked forward, straight into its gaping maw. Uh-oh. He's inside the monster's mouth now, and it's surprisingly spacious, but also covered in teeth. He's desperately trying to escape, slashing at the monster's insides, but it barely flinches. The monster finally slams its jaws shut, and this dude gets blasted backwards. Ah! He's sent flying through the air, crashing into something. It's a total mess. The monster's roaring, and honestly, it's clear this plan failed spectacularly. He's going all out, swinging his sword like a madman, but the monster just swats it away. The monster lets out this insane screech, and its eyes are glowing. It's about to get serious. Our boy is dodging and weaving, but the monster's attacks are relentless, a whirlwind of claws and teeth. He tries to create some distance, swinging his sword with everything he's got, but the monster is just too fast. There's a clash of blades, a blinding flash of light, and the shockwave sends cracks spreading everywhere. He's unleashing everything he has, but it feels like he's barely making a dent. This is brutal. The monster lunges, and he's forced to block, but the force is immense. He's getting pushed back. Another clash, another explosion of energy, and honestly, this dude looks like he's about to break. Someone in the background is watching, and they're straight up shocked by how strong he is. No kidding. He's still fighting, but it's clear he's losing, and the monster is closing in for the final blow. Okay, so his crew is worried. They know this queen spider is a huge threat, and they're not strong enough to fight it. He insists they can take it on, but they're begging him to just do it himself, because seriously, they're scared. He brushes them off, saying it'll be fine. Classic overconfidence, right? The group is standing around, talking about how the queen spider will be furious about her eggs being destroyed, but he thinks she won't even notice. He drops a bombshell. Queen black steel spiders have a weird quirk, and he's about to exploit it. This dude is getting a creepy smirk on his face. He's planning something big, and it's not good. Suddenly, everyone realizes he was right all along, and it's a little unsettling how sure of himself he is. They look up and the queen spider hasn't moved from where she landed. It's like she's frozen solid. Turns out she's paralyzed by the poison, and our boy planned for this exact scenario. He's dropping his sword, and it looks like he's about to do something completely insane. Okay, so he notices these spiders mostly attack with their front halves. A weakness. He's ready to exploit it. He leaps forward, sword raised, and slams right into the spider's face, aiming for that vulnerable spot. But the spider's shell is way tougher than expected. The sword barely makes a dent, and it's retaliating hard. No way! The spider's claw whips around, sending our boy flying backwards in a burst of energy. They absolutely COBR the monster. Our boy and his team are going wild thinking they won. Oh wait! And honestly, it looks brutal. Everyone's cheering, clapping, convinced they took down the big bad, but the mood shifts instantly. Someone's clearly spooked, staring at something off panel, and it's a total vibe killer. The blonde dude drops a bomb. They didn't actually beat it, no way. It just let them think they did. This dude named Zephyr is the one who let it happen, and it's a huge twist, straight up mind-blowing. We get a good look at Zephyr, looking all mysterious and powerful with that massive weapon. He's clutching his own side, injured, and it's clear this win came at a serious cost. Our boy is completely stunned, realizing just how different this hunting, really is. He's totally rethinking everything, admitting he had no idea what he was up against. And just when you think it can't get more intense, he's questioning if they even tried to beat it. Okay, so our boy casually mentions they killed some giant spiders, and he's gonna give to White Rose. Talk about a weird flex. He's clearly deep in thought, realizing this whole situation is way more complicated than he thought. His team springs into action, immediately starting to clean up the mess. They are dedicated. They tell him to relax, that they've got everything covered. But something feels off, right? One of the guys brags about dismembering monster corpses, then offers water, so polite yet unsettling. Another teammate shouts at them to hurry up, but our boy is still reeling from the Zephyr reveal. He's sipping some kind of potion, looking smug, and honestly, it's a little creepy. He's got this intense stare, like he's planning something huge. This dude is a mastermind. We get a glimpse of the other hunters, setting up something in the background, but it's super ominous. Our boy is totally playing the long game, and I have a feeling it's going to be insane. He's just done. Straight up declares everything is pointless, like what's the point of even trying? This dude is radiating pure menace, convinced none of his allies are strong enough to help him. He needs a plan, obviously, but he's lost in thought, staring off into the distance. Classic hero pose. Whoa, a massive fortress appears on the horizon, and someone calls it home to a real predator. He's handing off some monster parts, asking them to use it for a good cause. So weirdly wholesome. Someone thanks him, and another hunter offers to lend him more inventory space. They're so supportive, but then silence. Everyone stops talking, and the tension is thick. Something's definitely up. He's starting to realize they're not nearly prepared, and it's hitting him hard, like really hard. Our boy is deep in thought, realizing the true scale of what they're facing. It's a total game changer. He's admitting everything he thought he knew was wrong, and honestly, that's a scary thought. He's laying down some serious truth bombs. No one believes temples are truly holy anymore, and that's kinda sad. Apparently, temples are rolling in cash from believers, but it's not for charity, it's to fund their private armies. These temple knights and combat slaves are the ones actually killing monsters, which explains the wealth, but is super messed up. Our boy sums it up perfectly: safety costs money, and right now, people can afford it, but that won't last. He predicts a future where even selling your soul won't buy your kids' safety, and honestly, that's terrifying. Thankfully, they managed to sell the Predator and Black Steel spiders just in time for a decent price. They're celebrating the sale, but it feels off, like they're just delaying the inevitable. He's realizing the scale of the problem, and it's crushing him. The world is way more screwed than he thought. He admits he was wrong about everything, and that's a huge turning point. This dude is finally seeing the truth. Our boy is spiraling, realizing the danger isn't coming, it's already here, and it's way bigger than he imagined. Okay, so the temple higher-ups are impressed he brought back those Black Steel spiders so fast, and they're offering him a uniform. But here's the catch: they're taking almost 50% of the profits and using 20% to pay off his debt to the temple. Seriously, he gets the uniform and entry pass, but then learns the alchemy lab is a nightmare to get access to. The temple says alchemy equipment is huge and hard to move, so he can only use it after everyone else leaves at 7. Our boy is thinking that's fine, he can work through the night, but the temple rep is acting super sus. He's rambling about how no one cleans the lab, so this dude could even pass out from exhaustion while working. However, the temple rep insists he'll get paid, and it's a good deal. Yeah, right? This feels like a trap. Suddenly, someone's been looking for him. No way, a mysterious figure is approaching out of nowhere. They want a minute to talk, and honestly, the intensity in their eye is kind of freaking him out. This dude is on edge, the whole situation is screaming danger, and our boy knows it. No way, a super important figure, Ned, shows up and he's an agent of the Inquisitor? This is bad news. Turns out Ned is one of only 12 first-class agents recognized by the temple, which is concerning, to say the least. Our boy remembers Ned, they have a history, and he's instantly on high alert, realizing this encounter is serious. Ned pretends to be friendly, asking what brings him here, but it's a setup. He's fishing for info about a loan. Our boy is straight up suspicious, and he's right to be. Ned is clearly playing a game, but what's the angle? He's thinking back, trying to figure out what happened between them, but it's a hazy memory. But then the temple rep interrupts, talking about how the alchemy lab is a mess, and he'll be exhausted. Ned is definitely trying to distract our boy, and it's working. He's getting flustered trying to piece things together. However, our boy is realizing Ned isn't here about the loan. He's testing him, trying to figure out what he knows. This dude is playing 4D chess, and our boy is scrambling to keep up. This is gonna be a long night. Okay, so Ned's crew straight up tries to start a fight with one of our boy's clients right in front of him. Reckless doesn't even cover it. But this priest isn't worried about a brawl. He's annoyed they're messing with his business and potential income. He offers Ned a low-interest loan, knowing Ned's credit is good. This dude is playing the long game, and it's kind of brilliant. Okay, so our boy is in the Temple of Light's laboratory, and it's a potion-making hub. He's brewing something under the night sky, and it looks intense, a real last-ditch effort. The ingredients? Straight-up wild green herbs, moldy tree bark, even rotten kobold fluids? No way. Centipedes and corpse mushrooms are added to the mix. Because of course they are, this is getting dark. He mixes everything and starts boiling it with queen spider's poison, and bubbles are forming. It's a recipe for disaster. But here's the thing, it's all for Zagan, a super deadly poison number 61 of 72. This dude is serious. And it's complete. He's holding the finished potion, glowing and ominous, and it's terrifyingly beautiful. However, this isn't a happy ending. He loses to the Demon King, gets absolutely wrecked, and it's over. But wait, he's sent back in time to when he was at his weakest, a total reversal of fortune. Now he's speedrunning the apocalypse, trying to prevent everything, and honestly, good luck to our boy. He's slicing up Arcan wood, this crazy, strong material, and the temple's priestess is watching suspiciously. He asks for her help, but she's hesitant. Apparently, she only lent him the room, not her aid. He reminds her of their deal protection in exchange for money, and he's not about to lose both. Talk about leverage. She reluctantly hands him a strange diagram, a map of pressure points. This is getting weird. He's concentrating, and a ghostly energy surrounds his hand. He's about to infuse the poison with something else. The Arcan wood shatters into a million pieces, and he's mixing the poison with tiny, needle-like shards. He's pouring the green and blue poisons into dishes, then adding the Arcan wood needles. It's a horrifying concoction. He instructs her to let the needles sit for 10 minutes, and honestly, this whole scene is giving me the creeps. She's questioning what the heck this is, but he's already focusing on the next step. This dude is a madman. He's got the ingredients ready, and the priestess is holding a candle. This is the final stage of the poison, no doubt. He's got a plan to weaponize poison, and it involves a creepy diagram of pressure points, seriously unsettling. He's infusing the poison with Arcan wood shards, making it even deadlier. No way this is going to end well. The priestess is totally freaked out, questioning what he's doing, but he's already moved on to the next step. He's preparing to test the poison on himself, and honestly, this dude is straight up fearless or insane. He sighs, bracing himself, then jabs a needle filled with the concoction right into his arm. Ouch! The needle pierces his skin, and he's instantly writhing in pain, but he's pushing through it, focusing on the effect. His eye glows with an eerie energy as the poison courses through his veins. Something is definitely changing. The priestess coughs, startled, as he collapses, covered in the strange green veins from the poison. She rattles around, calling for someone, but it's too late. Our boy is down, and things are looking grim. He's lying there, seemingly defeated, while the priestess stares down at the spilled poison. But is it a trap? He tells the priestess not to panic, and to just trust him when he gives the signal. Super ominous, right? She's understandably freaking out, demanding to know what he's trying to do, but he doesn't answer. This dude announces he's going to upgrade himself. Seriously, what does that even mean? He explains that the 72 poisons can become medicine or even stat-boosting potions depending on the concentration. Wild. But here's the catch: combining them is excruciatingly painful, and he doesn't have the ingredients to stabilize it. He's pushing through the agony, injecting the poison, and it's clear he's risking everything for this power up. He's gritting his teeth, veins popping, and straining under the pressure. No way this is a clean process. He's pushing his limits, but it looks like the poison is actually working, amplifying his strength. However, the process is clearly taking a toll, and he's barely conscious. This is a desperate gamble. Our boy is using every ounce of willpower to endure, determined to become strong enough to change fate. He's circulating mana through his body, aiming to stop the poison. This dude is straight up risking it all. He says if it works, his stats will go up, but if it fails, his body will shatter into pieces. No pressure. But he pushes forward, declaring this pain is nothing compared to what he's already endured. Talk about a backstory. His face is contorted, he's sweating bullets, and you can see the strain, but he's holding on. Barely. However, the mana flow isn't just healing him, it's changing him, and we finally get a glimpse of what's happening. He's engulfed in golden energy, a massive weapon forming on his back. This is a whole new level of power up. The golden light intensifies, and he's radiating power, but it's also ominous, like something ancient is awakening. He's bathed in the glow, the weapon fully materialized, and it's absolutely massive. This is insane. He's standing tall, weapon in hand, radiating power, and honestly, this dude looks unstoppable now. But even with this incredible transformation, he's not out of the woods. The real fight is just beginning. Okay, so he unleashes this insane power, and everything goes dark, like, completely dark for a second. But then, two glowing eyes pierce the darkness, and they are not friendly. This is getting intense. The eyes widen, revealing a monstrous grin with rows and rows of teeth. Straight up nightmare fuel, no way. He's focusing, channeling energy, and his eyes start to glow with an electric blue. A new power is brewing. Blue energy erupts from him, blasting outwards in all directions, and it's like a shockwave. Whoa. The energy spreads, revealing him meditating in the center, but his blood vessels are glowing. Something's off. A priestess notices his glowing veins, realizing something is drastically changing within him. She's freaked out. She shouts that his blood vessels aren't normal, and we see a close-up of his arm, veins pulsating with blue. Creepy. And then, the blue energy intensifies, and he's basically a walking electric storm. This dude is evolving. He's pushing his limits, and honestly, it looks like it's hurting, but he's determined to get stronger. Okay, so our boy is giving orders. He needs someone to watch his back and signal him when the time is right. He's staring down his opponent with this intense, unsettling grin, and honestly, it's a little creepy. He's meticulously drawing out a diagram of the human body, marking weak points. This dude is planning something big. Okay, so this dude just took down a mid-sized demon nest led by a 100-foot-tall beast all by himself. But get this, the investigators find the scene matches survivor accounts, and they think he's flexing for a raid. They're starting to suspect he's a Tartarus worshipper, which honestly is a wild accusation right now. However, the commander of the Temple Knights, Lucius Giornetti, shuts it down, saying to just leave him be. Meanwhile, Senior Inquisitor Matthias Grimmer is giving off major villain vibes, just standing there and smirking. Lucius Giornetti steps forward, and it's clear he's not buying Matthias's silence. He knows something's up. Matthias tries to explain that even if there are more Tartarus worshippers, they can't find them all, no matter how hard they try. Lucius Giornetti just straight up ignores him, continuing to walk, and it's kinda badass, not gonna lie. And honestly, this dude is already causing trouble, even before the raid. The tension is building fast. Our boy is playing the long game, trying to get on the raid team, but these guys are definitely onto him. Lucius Giornetti lays down the law. The team isn't strong enough to reach the boss room, and they're stealing to survive. He's been friends with the boss for 20 years and knows this plan is a disaster, but won't tell anyone. Lucius leads Matthias to a hidden door, revealing a secret room. It's a big deal, and he's only showing it to his friend. The door swings open, revealing a massive chamber, but something's already inside. A shadowy figure appears. The figure is revealed to be a colossal, angelic being wielding a glowing sword, and Lucius is straight up shocked. No way. The angel slams its sword down, and the entire chamber starts falling apart, chains crashing everywhere. This angel's intense, radiating power, and Lucius can only manage a terrified my god as things get real. The angel descends, sword raised, and it's clear this isn't just some guardian. It's a force of destruction. But wait, the angel isn't attacking Lucius, it's protecting him, and the sword is glowing with holy power. Our boy is reeling, realizing Lucius has been hiding something massive all along. This is way bigger than he thought. Lucius pats Matthias on the shoulder, trying to reassure him, but honestly, it's a creepy robotic gesture. The training ground is packed, and everyone is flexing, trying to look strong for the raid. Word gets around that there are still spots open for slaves on the raid, and people are losing it. One guy is chugging some weird potion, trying to bulk up, while others are cracking their necks. It's a mess. Matthias asks what this has to do with them, and honestly, he's clueless, but Lucius just smirks. Lucius insists they're different, and this dude is clearly hiding something. The tension is insane. He says they're not interested in slaves, but this feels like a total lie, and Matthias is starting to notice. Lucius doubles down, saying they're only interested in results, and the vibe is getting seriously shady. Matthias tries to call him out on his BS, but Lucius just brushes it off, acting like everything's fine. However, we see Lucius' hand clenching. He's hiding something big, and our boy is about to unravel it all. Okay, so this nun is straight up demanding interest from these guys. She's terrifying and powerful. The three of them are freaking out, asking what she was even doing in their room. It's a total mystery. Lucius casually slides a ring onto his finger, and it's clearly a big deal, like a power-up or something. He's just chilling, looking smug, while the others are completely stunned by the ring. The tension is building. These guys gasp, recognizing the ring. It belonged to someone important, and it's a major plot point. They're practically losing it, demanding to know where he got the ring, stammering and drooling. It's wild. Lucius just smirks, enjoying their reaction, and the ring is glowing. This dude is playing a long game. The ring is twinkling, radiating power, and honestly, it's giving off some serious villain vibes. He's flexing with the ring, soaking in the attention, and it's clear he's relishing this moment. However, the ring's glow is intense, hinting at a dark history and a massive power shift. No way this is good. The nun offers Lucius some seriously powerful gear. A little taster of what she can get for him on the house. Lucius is instantly suspicious, realizing she brought up gear before he even asked. This woman is always one step ahead. She casually mentions getting stuff from the black market, and it's clear she has connections to some shady organizations. Cut to a terrifying scene. We see Persephone, a legendary guild of assassins, and they're straight up scary. These assassins boost their stats with poison and use insane martial arts. They're the ultimate killing machines. Lucius is getting flashbacks, and it turns out this dude has an almost suspiciously phenomenal talent for hunting and upgrading with poison. He remembers the last time he fought them. It was a brutal battle, and he barely survived. However, he realizes the nun knows about these assassins, and that's no coincidence. She's setting something up. Lucius is playing it cool, but he's definitely calculating his next move. This whole situation is a trap. But honestly, he's already figuring out how to use the Persephone assassins to his advantage. This dude is ruthless. Okay, so this dude Zephyr is unleashing some serious power. It's all dark energy and lightning, straight up terrifying. A woman in white realizes Zephyr was an assassin for Persephone, a legendary guild, and it's a huge reveal. She spills that Persephone fell apart a few years ago, but wealthy clients are still desperate to find its members and pay a fortune. She's thinking out loud about how to get Zephyr working for her, and honestly, it's a little creepy. Zephyr, meanwhile, is realizing this is all going exactly how he wants it to. This dude is playing 4D chess. She starts walking away, plotting her next move, and it's clear she's a master manipulator. But Zephyr's inner monologue. He thinks this whole situation is better than he expected. What a twist. Our boy is so smug right now, and it's awesome. He's completely got this under control, or so it seems. Okay, so our boy is straight up confronting the Demon King, and he's spitting mad about a scar he got. He's all, "This pain keeps me up every night," and then just vanishes in a burst of speed. We get a cool profile shot of this dude, looking determined, but honestly, it's kinda bleak. The Demon King isn't impressed, though. He's showing off some new power, claiming our hero will be floored. Then the Demon King attacks, sword drawn, telling him to pray, like that's gonna help now. He's swinging that blade and our boy's eyes are Jilabu with some serious energy. It's intense. The Demon King unleashes a blast of power, and our boy is getting blasted back, but he's holding on. He's still standing, but barely. The Demon King is unleashing another attack, and it's looking rough. Our boy is getting absolutely pummeled, but he's determined to fight back, even in this state. He's down, but not out. This dude is still trying to stand, even with everything crashing around him. Okay, so our boy is thinking Ned is playing games, that this isn't a full-on assault. He's confident Ned wouldn't just test him with Sahak, expecting something bigger to happen. But no, Sahak is the attack. The ground erupts, and it's a full-on ambush. He's dodging and weaving, telling Sahak he'll face whatever comes next, but it's a trap. Suddenly, a mysterious figure appears. Who is this? And it's all happening so fast. This dude is getting completely overwhelmed. A dark presence closing in with a creepy rustle. No way, that shadowy figure transforms into a monstrous, tentacled beast, and it's he. The Demon King is just laughing, and honestly, it's terrifying. Our boy is getting swatted aside like a fly, completely caught off guard by this new power. He's down, but determined, but this fight, it's straight up brutal. Ned is straight up mocking our boy, saying he underestimated him. Again, and it's honestly infuriating. This dude unleashes this insane, shadowy power, and it's forming into a massive, tentacled monster. The monster wriggles and contorts, sprouting eyes everywhere. It's a nightmare, seriously. It's all happening so fast, twirling, whistling, and whooshing sounds as the beast lunges forward. The monster's attacks are relentless, sending blasts of energy flying, but our boy is still fighting back. He's dodging and weaving, but the monster's getting closer. It's a full-on assault and it's terrifying. Okay, so he's trying to push the monster back, but it's like fighting a tidal wave of darkness. The monster keeps coming, and our boy is starting to get overwhelmed. It's a desperate situation. It lunges, and for a second, it looks like he'll dodge, but the monster is just too fast. The monster has him pinned. Our boy is staring straight up at this horrifying beast, and it's over. Ned is losing it, laughing maniacally as he unleashes even more power. It's seriously unhinged. The monster explodes with energy, and our boy is caught in the blast. It's a full-on supernova. He's getting absolutely demolished, but through the chaos, he sees a flash of something familiar. It's a memory, a vision of his past self, the weakest version of him, before all this power. No way, he's being pulled back in time, straight back to when he was at his lowest point. He's falling through the sky, surrounded by the remnants of the monster's energy. It's a crazy sight. He crashes to the ground, weakened and vulnerable, but he's alive. That's what matters. This dude realizes he's back in time, and suddenly, the apocalypse isn't a future threat, it's preventable. He vows to change everything, to stop Ned before he can become this monster. It's a total reset. But someone's already noticed the shift in time, and they're asking, what the hell? This is gonna be good. Okay, so this dude realizes the monster is a Shoggoth, a biological weapon created by some seriously scary cultists. He didn't expect to find that thing here, but honestly, at this point, nothing surprises me. The Shoggoth is apparently dormant inside an egg, until someone plays a hypnotic instrument to wake it up. And get this, it's all happening right in front of him, a swirling mass of purple energy starting to take shape. He sees a strange ocarina, and learns it's the key to controlling the Shoggoth and protecting the user from its mind control. But here's the kicker. Physical attacks are totally useless against this thing, so brute force isn't gonna cut it. Our boy starts walking forward, stepping right into the swirling darkness, like he's got a plan. The Shoggoth fully emerges, a monstrous, tentacled horror, and it's massive, seriously intimidating. He's facing the monster head on, and you can tell he's determined to stop this thing before it even begins. This dude is stepping up, and it's clear he's not just gonna stand there. He's ready for a rematch. The Shoggoth grabs him, straight up crushes his arm, and it's not just physical damage, it's a mind attack. Apparently, touching the Shoggoth immediately starts corrupting your mind, and it's terrifyingly effective. It messes with your head like fear itself, causing intense hallucinations. No way this is good. Once the corruption is complete, frenzy sets in, and people lose all control, even turning on allies. This monster is the ultimate weapon for massacre, created by cultists to slaughter their own people. Seriously, the Shoggoth is a tool for chaos, and the Tartarus worshippers are using it to make things much, much worse. Our boy is reeling, but he's laughing, claiming this fool thinks he can win. Talk about confidence. He stepped into the darkness, and the Shoggoth's energy is swirling around him. But he's still standing. The monster's really showing its power now, a grotesque, multi-eyed horror, and it's straight up menacing. He's facing down the Shoggoth, fully aware of its power, and he's ready to fight. This is gonna be epic. The Shoggoth is wrapping around him, tentacles wriggling, and it's totally messing with his mind. He's losing it. It's saying his mind is almost completely corrupted, and that he's as good as dead. Super ominous, bro. But our boy isn't backing down, even with that intense red glare. He's embracing the darkness. Honestly, Suddenly, a massive flash of light erupts, and it's blinding. What the heck just happened? He's bathed in golden light, looking all determined, and it seems like he's resetting. No way. He's back to being a kid, a tiny version of himself, and now he has to speedrun the apocalypse all over again. Okay, so this dude is going up against the Demon King, and honestly, it's a rough fight. He's getting absolutely wrecked by this shadowy beast, but he manages to land a hit. A tiny one though. The monster's tongue lashes out, and it's covered in these creepy, spotted barbs. No way that feels good. But the real kicker, physical attacks do absolutely nothing against this thing. Apparently, he realizes the only way to beat it is with elemental powers or divine energy, but it's still massive. Thankfully, the monster is still small enough to finish off with one more hit, so he's gearing up. However, he doesn't even need to waste mana. It's that confident, bro. He unleashes a burst of power, and the monster starts wriggling like crazy, but it's not enough. He got exactly what he deserved, and our boy is left staring at the remains of the beast. Straight up, this is a full flashback. He's back to being his weakest self, ready to fix everything. The monster is crumbling, and our boy discovers a secret code that breaks it down at a cellular level. Turns out, only the demon worshippers know this code. The temple has no clue, which is wild. Someone's cape is flapping in the wind, and he's getting a message about a mission Ned cannot fail. Ned's already on the scene, and he's clearly not thrilled, but this dude is a total pro. He's analyzing the situation, and it seems Ned is a martial arts master, a dangerous combo. Someone's saying Ned won't ignore someone who uses the same martial arts, and honestly, they're probably right. Ned hears something, a name, and he's straight up shocked, yelling Nenid at the top of his lungs. We get a close-up of a seriously intense guy, prepping for a fight, and things are about to go down. This dude is clearly a threat, and the tension is building. It's a total standoff right now. He's stating Ned was assigned a mission he can't fail, and there's no ignoring someone with his skills. He's been waiting for this moment, ready to pass the test and trick Ned. It's all about changing the future. Our boy is laying it all out. He needs to convince Ned he's a Tartarus worshipper, no matter the cost. He's recalling a past life, a debt unpaid, and he's determined to rewrite history this time around. He's grabbing Ned's hand, a total power move, and honestly, it's kinda creepy. This dude is serious. He's willing to do anything to get closer to Ned, even if it means deceiving him. He's laying out his plan: trick Ned, get an opportunity, and change everything. Ambitious, right? We get a glimpse of a hooded figure, and this dude is making some serious threats. It's intense. The hooded figure is laying down the rules, and our boy is vowing to repay a debt from a past life. Ned is looking down on him, and something about his expression screams, "I don't trust you." And he shouldn't. But this dude is all in. He's ready to play the part, no matter what it takes, and the tension is unreal. No way. The Demon King just eliminates one of his own guys in a flash. Talk about sending a message. This hooded dude unleashes a lightning-fast attack, and Ned barely dodges, straight up risking everything. Ned's going all out, channeling some serious energy, but the Demon King's minion is a total beast. He's dashing forward, aiming to strike, but the Demon King's guy is already countering with a wicked swing. Ned's power flares, and he's aiming a blast of energy right at his opponent. This is intense. The sword clashes with the energy, sending sparks flying, and honestly, this dude had it coming. Ned's power is overwhelming, and the Demon King's minion is getting pushed back, but he's not going down easy. However, the Demon King's minion manages to land a blow, and Ned is sent reeling. Ouch, that looked painful. Ned tries to regain control, but the Demon King's minion is relentless, unleashing another furious attack. But Ned activates some kind of speed boost. He's moving too fast to see, and dodges the attack at the last second. Ned unleashes a whirlwind attack, but the Demon King's minion just dodges it all. What? The minion's eyes narrow. He's not impressed, and thinks Ned used the trick to dodge his sword. This dude is unleashing a barrage of stone projectiles, and Ned is dodging like a pro. It's a wild scene. Ned counters with a sword swing and a blast of energy, but the minion deflects it with ease. Seriously. Clang, clang. The swords collide again and again, sparks flying. This fight is getting intense. Ned's focused, eyes locked on his opponent. He's not backing down, and honestly, good for him. The minion is shocked. He didn't think Ned could dodge and counterattack, but here we are. He admits only his master could do that, but still insists Ned must be cheating somehow. Ned confidently states he'll finish this quickly, and the minion is clearly rattled by his determination. Ned prepares for another attack, radiating power. This dude is about to show the minion what's up. The Demon King's minion is getting tossed around like a rag doll. Ned's really turning up the heat, but the minion recovers, launching himself at Ned with surprising speed. This dude is fast. Ned unveils a secret technique, the lightning palm attack, and straight up surrounds his enemy with electricity. He explains it's like the lightning palm, but with explosive acceleration. A power-up within a power-up? Ned unleashes the attack, and the minion is engulfed in red, hot lightning. It looks intense. Ned isn't stopping there. He's got another secret move, Floating Cloud, and is channeling even more energy. Apparently, this style of martial arts knows how to counter any attack. Ned's a genius? He clarifies there are two types of electricity, positive and negative. This is getting scientific. Ned explains positive and negative attract, but the same types repel. He's using that principle defensively. Ned's hands are glowing blue, electricity crackling around them. He's ready to deflect whatever comes next. Ned unleashes a massive blast of energy, but the minion is surprisingly able to withstand it. What? He explains the secret to countering attacks. You gotta surround yourself with enough electricity, or the attack just goes through. If you have more electricity than the attacker, it bounces off but less. It straight up penetrates your defenses. Ned says you need to adjust your electrical defense instantly. Timing and amount are key. It's insane. It takes a ton of training to even use this skill in battle, and skill copying won't cut it. This is next level. Ned's serious, saying it's easier said than done, and those attacks would have overwhelmed him before. However, he's confident now, and that's all that matters. Our boy is ready to finish this fight. Okay, so this world has shadow disciples, basically secret backup plans for martial arts masters, which is kinda smart. These disciples train in total secrecy, ready to step in if anything happens to the official heir, no pressure though. They're like a hidden insurance policy to make sure the techniques survive, which is cool until you realize that the master straight up eliminates them once the main heir is safe, ruthless, honestly. But things aren't going as planned because Altair and her crew are holding someone back. Who? We don't know yet. This dude is being restrained by a ton of glowing red chains. Looks like someone is really not letting him move. And the person holding him captive. It's a queen with a serious attitude and a crown. She's definitely the boss. However, our boy sees an opportunity in this mess and decides to take advantage of the situation, a risky move. He's not alone though. A few other figures are moving with him, getting ready to act. A team is forming. This dude is thinking on his feet, planning something, and honestly, I'm here for it. Okay, so the queen reveals she already checked with her master about these disciples, and he denies sending any. She drops a bomb. Tartarus worshippers getting Evis into the temple and contacting the outside world is seriously difficult. But she's not worried. This queen is all about adapting to the situation and figuring things out as they go. Our boy is flexing some serious power, energy crackling around his hands. He's ready to rumble. He lays down the law, no contacting other Tartarus followers and keep identities secret, solid plan. Then, he wants them to infiltrate the raid party on their own. This dude is playing a long game. However, the queen isn't buying it. She's suspicious about his motives and past. She reveals she was the one who sent him here, knowing he wasn't a normal disciple. No way! But it's a test. She wanted to see if he'd follow her instructions. And he's passing with flying colors. So she's giving him a task, a secret mission, and honestly, this just got a whole lot more interesting. Our boy's all confident, promising to get the dragon heart. He's straight up taking charge now. Okay, so the dragon heart isn't just some trinket. It's a magic stone formed inside a dragon's heart. This thing is insane, giving whoever uses it the power of a dragon. But it's super rare, lost 1,000 years ago. But the real problem? The temple knights are about to get wrecked by the Dragon King's electric attack. We're seeing a full-on lightning storm, knights flying everywhere. This dude's power is off the charts. He's basically saying, get this heart, and no one can stop you, which is a bold claim, honestly. Turns out the queen's master wasn't thrilled with just her handling this, so he sent our boy as backup. She's grilling this other guy, and he's sweating bullets. Something's definitely up with him. However, this dude reveals he's been watching the queen, and knows she's been hiding things too. So, the mysterious guy in the hood drops a bomb. The reason he's helping is partly tied to something else. But the real reason, it's about blood tears. Like, actual tears made of blood, which sounds super ominous. This other dude is straight up demanding to know what's going on, and he's not happy about the secrecy. Our boy takes a step forward, and the tension is thick. Everyone's on edge right now. He reveals blood tears are one of his family's stolen treasures, and honestly, that's a wild backstory. It's not just about reclaiming a lost item though. He wants revenge on the temple, which is a whole other level. However, he and the master are the only ones who know about these blood tears, making it a super secret mission. Suddenly, someone's eyes glow, and it's super creepy, like seriously unsettling. A flaming sword appears, radiating insane power. This thing looks like it could cut through anything. He declares he'll retrieve the blood tears and get revenge, and bro is serious about this. This dude is begging to join the raid. Apparently, his hunting team's dorm smells awful, no cap. The master is quiet for a sec, thinking it over, but straight up decides he has no choice but to trust him. He announces they're going to an abandoned building near the temple, and things are getting intense. The scene shifts to night, and our boy is leading the way. It's a long trek. They finally arrive at this creepy, run-down building under a full moon, and it's giving major horror vibes. He tells the others he's brought the last member with them, and they're all gathering in the darkness. The master is back to brooding. You know he's got a plan brewing, and it's probably complicated. This is a little creepy. The building seems to glow with an eerie blue light, like it's powered by something sinister. And that light is highlighting the building's architecture. It's seriously old and imposing. Our boy just stands there, silhouetted against the ominous glow, and you can tell he's ready for anything. The master straight up vetted this new guy, claiming he followed procedure. Sounds sus, right? Everyone's staring at our boy, realizing he's different, and the master confirms he's a disciple. This dude, Matthias Grimmer, is revealed as the 36th rank in the Tartarus worshipper hierarchy, major power player. Matthias starts laying out the plan. 40 slaves will join the raid, pulled from both the hunting team and the Inquisition. Our boy is not thrilled, and he's clearly hiding something, but he doesn't say a word. Matthias is all smiles, but he's giving off major villain vibes. This dude is definitely up to no good. He emphasizes they need to remember his instructions, and honestly, that's never a good sign. The master slams his hand down, and the whole room shakes. He's clearly losing patience. Our boy looks determined, ready to face whatever's coming, but he's walking into a trap, isn't he? He declares he'll protect everyone, but we all know things are about to get real messy. Okay, so the announcement drops. They're assembling a raid party for the Tomb of the Fallen Princess. The team has to assemble at 6 a.m. tomorrow and undergo training before the raid. Sounds intense. They're locked down in a dedicated area, but here's the kicker. No talking allowed until the raid is over. Each member is responsible for their own gear, which seems reasonable enough, right? But our boy is already scheming, saying everything is going according to plan. Smooth operator. He's got his sights set on the black steel spider dungeon, the cockatrice nest, and some rigged goblin den. No way, this dude manipulated documents to make a village look like a goblin hideout. He's playing 4D chess. He's straight up changing history, and honestly, it's kinda terrifying how easily he's doing it. However, it's all part of his plan to prevent the apocalypse. A little proactive doom breaking, if you will. He's getting ready to rewrite everything, and bro looks determined. This is about to get wild. The team is saying goodbye to Zephyr, thanking him for everything. It's a super emotional send-off. He gets a message saying his record is impressive, and there are openings due to the raid mission. They hint at a promotion, but warn him harder missions are coming. Sounds intense, right? One of the guys is clearly admiring Zephyr, wanting to learn from him, but he's too shy to ask. But this dude is straight up obsessed, thinking about how amazing Zephyr is. Total fanboy vibes. He only worked with Zephyr a little while, but knows he's someone with a clear goal. And that goal, to completely change the world. This dude is not messing around. He's climbing a mountain, looking all heroic, and honestly, it's a power move. He's thinking about the future, about the apocalypse he's trying to prevent. Talk about pressure! He's determined to break the doom, and he's already way ahead of the game. One of the guys thinks they're too weak to follow Zephyr. Talk about a confidence crisis! Zephyr doesn't even flinch, telling them they'll join him when they're ready. Cold, but fair. A mysterious silver-haired dude shows up, and our boy is definitely checking him out. The trio walks with the silver-haired man, and Zephyr seems pleased with their progress. A good sign. Zephyr's thinking about the future, about how much worse things are gonna get. No pressure, right? But these guys are still doomed. He thinks, if the worshippers manage to summon Tartarus. Yikes. He's got 3 years to stop a summoning that will kill everyone, including his new crew. Zephyr needs to get the dragon heads, Whatever that means, to prevent total annihilation, straight up. Now he's heading to the next location, and the silver-haired man asks if he likes it. Creepy vibes? The silver-haired dude is definitely hiding something, and Zephyr is totally suspicious. This is getting good. The silver-haired dude straight up equips Zephyr with a full set of ancient, super detailed armor and weapons. It's a lot. Zephyr's companion is stunned by the gear, but Zephyr himself is focused. He's already planning ahead. He examines a wicked-looking axe and spear, declaring it's exactly what he asked for. This dude is intense. They're heading into the tomb of the fallen princess, but it's not a peaceful resting place. It's crawling with undead skeletons. These aren't normal skeletons, though. They're already dead, so they feel no pain, and swords just pass right through them. Their bony bodies are immune to normal attacks, making this a seriously tough fight. No way this is going to be easy. Zephyr's slicing through a skeleton, and it's shattering into crystal shards. But it's clearly not enough to stop them. He realizes that regular weapons are useless against these undead, but he's got a plan. He always has a plan. The skeletons are relentless, but Zephyr's got that gear and his wits, so he's ready to push forward. Bring it on! He's determined to break through this dungeon, and honestly, he's a little too excited about fighting skeletons. Zephyr grabs the Twilight Longsword. It's an ancient artifact, and he declares it his favorite, no doubt because it's powerful. A nun is watching him, totally suspicious. She wonders what his plan is with that sword, and honestly, same. Flashback time. We learn the Temple of Light has been trying to beat this dungeon for 10 years straight up. But the Tartarus worshippers are risking everything to raid it too. It's a full-on clash of factions brewing. Now we see the real goal, beating everyone to the Dragon Heart. Zephyr is determined to get there first. He's got this intense look in his eyes. Bro is serious about claiming that heart, and it's kinda scary. Zephyr's companion is still confused, but our boy doesn't care. He's laser-focused on the task at hand. He's already envisioning how he'll dominate, and honestly, it's a little intimidating. This dude doesn't mess around. However, he's also aware of the dangers ahead, realizing this isn't going to be a walk in the park. Zephyr's ready to conquer the dungeon, even if it means facing impossible odds. He's a true speedrunner of doom. Zephyr's ready to tell Ned the truth about everything, but he knows convincing him won't be easy. He draws his sword, and it clinks as the blade comes free. This fight is inevitable, apparently. Zephyr's thinking about how tough this battle will be, but straight up, he's not worried. He's got a plan to enchant his sword, boosting its power with divine energy. It's a total glow up. The temple's top enchanter, Angelia, is doing the work, and apparently, she's a big deal. She explains enchantment imbues items with crazy power, and the stronger the enchantment, the better. Zephyr's focused, determined to become strong enough to face whatever comes next. No time for distractions. However, he's interrupted by a creaking door. Someone's watching, and it's probably not good. The mysterious figure has intense golden eyes, and honestly, they're sending chills down our spines. This dude is clearly plotting something, and Zephyr's staring him down. Things are about to get real. Angelia starts chanting, and straight up, golden light explodes around Zephyr. It's a full-on divine upgrade. The light fades, and Zephyr's decked out in blessed gear, a sword, shirt, boots, and even a spider hook. But another figure appears, radiating power, and is holding a massive mace. This is a serious threat. Zephyr's getting ready to fight the raid party, but he's still haunted by the memory of his past defeat. He's focused, determined to rewrite history and prevent the apocalypse. Our boy is ready for war. Okay, so the Temple Knights and Inquisitors are gearing up, and it's a massive force, like 86 people total. They've got advanced guards for scouting and rear guards for long-range support, basically covering all the bases. This whole operation is run by 4 leaders, and the first one introduced is Arno, the head healer, a serious pro. Then we meet Leona, captain of the rear guard. She looks tough as nails and is probably a total badass. But wait, there's more! Another leader is revealed, and the crowd is going wildy for this guy, Lord Lucius. Everyone is shouting his name, calling him the Holy One. This dude is clearly a big deal and super respected. Honestly, he's radiating power, and it's clear he's the one everyone's counting on to lead them to victory. So, they're all set, a huge army with skilled leaders. But something tells me things aren't going to be that easy. The setup is complete, and they're clearly preparing for a major showdown. But we all know our boy has seen the future. He's back in time, and this time, he's not playing around. He's gonna change everything, even if it means facing these forces head-on. Okay, so apparently holy ones are people with a special mark, blessed by the gods and destined for greatness. These holy ones get insane power during their lives, and then become angels when they die. Talk about a sweet afterlife. Lucius, this holy one of light, is getting all the praise, and people straight up treat him like a god. But someone in the crowd is not impressed, thinking it's weird Lucius is even showing face to these regular guys. This dude scoffs, but Lucius doesn't even flinch because he's about to drop a prophecy on everyone. Lucius starts speaking, and the crowd is silent, clearly expecting some earth-shattering revelation. He's got this intense stare, and honestly, it's a little creepy, like he knows something terrible is coming. And the prophecy, it's about a coming disaster, a darkness that will consume everything. Sounds ominous, right? Lucius is looking right at someone in the crowd, and it's our boy, the one who traveled back in time. No way, he's claiming this person is the key to both salvation and destruction. This just got real. Lucius declares this raid will be legendary, etching everyone's names into temple history. Talk about pressure! The crowd erupts in cheers and shouts for Aria, their goddess, begging for her protection as they head out. They're climbing this insane mountain, the summit of screams, and honestly, it looks terrifying. So many people are scaling this cliff face, clinging on for dear life. It's a total free for all. Our boy is struggling, falling behind, and muttering about glory, but seems unimpressed. He reaches out to help someone else, but he's clearly focused on something else entirely. He realizes this raid isn't about honor, it's about something much, much bigger. A secret agenda. This dude's got a plan, and it's definitely not what everyone else thinks it is. He's thinking about the past, about the disaster he saw, and it's clear he's manipulating this situation. But the real reason for this raid isn't what anyone expects. It's a game changer. So, Lucius is handing out pieces of tombstone, yeah, seriously, as payment for labor and gear. But it's not just about supplies, he's building roads and cities in this newly secured area. Wild. Turns out the temple in the third parish is a front for Lucius's tomb raiding operation. No way. They're constantly training people for these raids, prepping them to risk it all for what exactly? And those who survive the training are marked with a symbol. It's a creepy initiation, honestly. The training is brutal. A massive stone golem keeps attacking recruits, and they're eliminated after 3 hits. Let the mock battle begin. This is straight up gladiator training. Intense? The recruits are fighting for their lives, and it's way more realistic than it should be. This is hard. However, this isn't just training. Lucius is using these raids to build an army. He's claiming this is all for the goddess Aria, but our boy knows there's something much darker going on. This dude is swinging his axe with everything he's got, aiming straight for the Demon King. Wesham, the axe connects, but the Demon King barely flinches. Seriously, this guy is tough. Lucius and the red-haired fighter are strategizing, realizing the Demon King moves predictably. They dash into action, planning to exploit the opening. It's a risky move, but they're committed. The red-haired fighter jam PS, sword raised, aiming for a critical strike. This is intense. Lucius swings his sword, deflecting another attack from the Demon King. Sealanke, it's a close call. The red-haired fighter attacks, but the Demon King blocks. And honestly, this dude had it coming. The red-haired fighter is sent flying, but he keeps coming. That's some serious willpower. Lucius unleashes FLAs of energy, striking the Demon King. It's a desperate attempt to turn the tide. But the Demon King is too powerful. He's deflecting the attack like it's nothing. Our boy is in trouble. They actually DO it. Lucius and the crew kill 500 golems, and a message appears: 15 minutes of rest. Seriously. Lucius is watching the battle, and he's low-key impressed. These slaves are way better than the last group. He's especially focused on 2 fighters. They're not just strong, they're fighting extremely well. One of them starts blowing, channeling power from Aria. No way, this is getting intense. Lucius addresses the advance guard, praising their efforts, but something feels off about his smile. And then, BM, a massive energy blast erupts, engulfing everything in shadow. Lucius is clearly thinking something is up, and he's definitely hiding it. He's praising the advance guard, but it's all a facade. Our boy is scheming hard. The energy blast intensifies, everything is going dark, and things are about to get real. Straight up, the scene fades to black. What did Lucius unleash? This is a cliffhanger. Okay, so our boy Ned is standing in this huge hall with his dad, and it's all about the family sword. This isn't just any sword, it's blood tears, a magical heirloom passed down through generations of the Stryer family. Apparently, an ancestor straight up defeated demons to get it, then offered it to the king for a barren title. The king was like, "Cool sword, you guys guard it forever." So it's been a family duty ever since. Ned's dad is telling him he'll inherit the title and the sword, and honestly, it sounds like a lot of pressure. He wants Ned to become a knight worthy of the blade, but then, he kinda undermines it all. Ned's dad casually mentions his investments, like the sword is secondary to making money, which is wild. But seriously, this dude is laying it all out: title, sword, duty. It's a lot for young Ned to take on. Ned assures his father he's up for the task, promising to be a great knight, but it feels like a setup. And then nothing. Just a black screen. Something's definitely about to go down, you just know it. Ned's dad put up their house and title as collateral for a loan, but now someone's trying to take the sword. Ned screams at the priest Olden, saying they didn't agree to this, and demands he give back the Blood Tears blade. Olden is all smug, saying the sword doesn't belong to Ned's family anymore. It belongs to Baron Stryer now. Ned's dad tries to argue they gave up the title for the loan, so Ned still has a right to the sword, but Olden shuts that down fast. Ned swings the sword at Olden, but the priest just casually blocks it with his hand. What? Olden moves and Ned's dad gets hit by the sword instead? No way, this is getting intense. Ned is losing it, yelling at these guys, but Olden just scoffs about the temple not being a place for violence. Olden straight up slashes Ned's dad, and a huge blast of red energy explodes outward. Everything is flashing red, and it looks like Ned's dad is down. This is a disaster. But wait, the whole scene is just a burst of light, like Ned's reliving a memory, or something else. Ned's dad is down, coughing up blood, and it's brutal. This dude is seriously hurt. Ned's sister screams for their father, but he just collapses, and everything goes black. Ned is furious, telling Olden he's lucky the sword didn't hit him, but Olden is just smirking. Olden talks down to Ned, saying a commoner shouldn't be attacking the bishop's son in the Temple of Light. He continues, saying if Ned had hurt him, his son would have been executed, straight up threatening a kid. We cut to Ned's dad lying there, and then the scene shifts to explain everything. Dungeon speculation has been out of control for years. Investing in raid parties and dungeons was all the rage, and prices for items skyrocketed. Sounds like a bubble. At one point, investors made a fortune, but then raids started failing, and fake guilds popped up everywhere. But now it's all crashing down, and this dude Ned is caught right in the middle of it. Ned's dad is still down, and honestly, this whole situation is a mess. The Temple of Light is straight up making a fortune selling overpriced dungeon stuff, but they're lying about it being safe. They're selling financial products worth less than the paper they're printed on, just to cut their losses and profit. Ned's dad was one of the investors, and like him, tons of people borrowed money to play the market. But when the market crashes, everyone ends up broke and homeless. It's a total disaster. The high-ranking priests responsible never pay for their crimes, and honestly, this is infuriating. Ned's absolutely livid, vowing revenge on those scum, especially priest Olden who used his father. Olden took Ned's father's life, and now Ned's only goal is to bring down the Temple of Light. Ned's been searching everywhere for blood tears, a symbol of his family that disappeared years ago. He finds his master with blood tears streaming down his face. What is going on? Turns out the leader and half of the 12 apostles are right there, and things are about to get real. Ned's master offers him a deal: prove your worth, and I'll help you get revenge, cold. But the white-haired dude drops a bomb. Ned's master lied about helping him, straight up betrayed him. The master wants them to take out someone, but Ned realizes it's a setup. They'll be powerless afterward. Ned's furious, yelling that they were tricked from the beginning, and honestly, he's not wrong. He can't believe his master, someone he considered family, would deceive him like that. Rough. But if that wasn't true, Ned starts questioning everything, and it's a total mind bender. Ned's lost, realizing the master was playing him the entire time, and it's a devastating blow. He feels completely used, betrayed by someone he trusted, and bro is seriously spiraling. Ned's master was practically family to him, so to be lied to is a punch to the gut. Ned's in disbelief, and it's clear this revelation changes everything for our boy. Ned's asking what he should do, completely lost, and his master just stares ahead, so ominous. They arrive at the tomb of the fallen princess, but it's not a peaceful resting place. It's a dungeon. The group enters, and one of the apostles is already freaked out, shivering from the dark energy. An old man appears, smirking, and reveals this tomb is one of the 8 greatest challenges in the world. The massive doors creak open, letting in a blinding light. Talk about a grand entrance. Ned rushes forward, stepping into the light, and it's a total power move. But what awaits him? Okay, so our boy is fighting the Demon King, and it's looking bad, straight up a massacre. He's swinging his sword, but the Demon King is just swatting away attacks like it's nothing, no way. This old man shows up, confident as heck, saying he's barely breaking a sweat. Talk about a mood. Turns out they're in the tomb of Princess Eurydice, a seriously powerful sorceress from way back when. She didn't just die, though. She enchanted thousands of people and dragged them into her tomb with her. And get this, over the last 1,000 years, hundreds of grave robbers tried their luck, making a lot of skeletons. So now the tomb is overflowing with undead, and this dude is facing an endless wave of bony enemies. The skeletons are swarming, and honestly, this dude had it coming. Eurydice is packing serious power. But wait, the sorceress is manifesting, forming this huge, creepy figure made of bones and shadows. She's got glowing green eyes and is radiating power, and it's clear she's the real boss of this whole operation. The Demon King swings, and our boy is getting tossed around like a rag doll, no joke. But the old man isn't worried. He's got these golden chains ready to bind the Demon King's power. The chains wrap around the Demon King, and honestly, it looks like they're actually working. Everyone's yelling to break it up, and suddenly a ton of swords are aimed at the Demon King. Swords are clashing, chains are rattling, and skeletons are still swarming. It's total chaos. This dude is getting absolutely wrecked, flying through the air after a brutal hit. The sorceress is unleashing a shockwave and everyone's getting blasted back. It's intense. The chains clink together, and it seems like they're holding, but for how long? They shout that it worked, and now is their chance to strike. It's a risky move. More swords clash, bones crack, and they're really going all out against the Demon King. No way, the chains are snapping and the Demon King is breaking free, looking absolutely furious. Everyone's yelling for a distraction, and this dude starts channeling some serious golden energy. He's pleading with the goddess, asking for guidance and a little bit of light in all this darkness. And then, a massive beam of golden light erupts from his sword, straight at the Demon King. The light is slicing through everything, bones are flying, and it's honestly a beautiful, destructive mess. Our boy is swinging his sword like a madman, and the golden energy is practically bursting off the blade. He lands another hit, creating another massive slash of golden light. This dude is going all out. The Demon King is reeling, but he's still standing, and the battle is far from over. He's pushing forward, ignoring the pain, and swinging his sword with everything he's got. Another slash, another burst of light. This is insane, and the Demon King is clearly struggling. If there's a bone golem here, things are about to get real bad, real fast. A skeleton mage appears, and the team learns he's an intermediate monster who controls lower-level skeletons. Great. The mage raises his staff, and a huge pile of bones starts assembling, glowing with green energy. The bones coalesce into a massive bone golem, and it's honestly terrifying. This is a disaster waiting to happen. Someone shouts they need to take out the mage, and another guy is already yelling at everyone to hurry up. The first guy knows they're in trouble, but demands everyone not rush him. Easy for him to say. The rear guard prepares to attack, but the range is limited, so they need to reload quickly. They try to get past the golems, but those things are swarming, smashing and slashing with bone claws. Someone asks where that thing is. Probably something else horrible, because why wouldn't it be? He's narrowing his eyes, looking around. This dude is starting to suspect something's off, and honestly, same. This golden knight just shows up, telling everyone to step aside. Talk about a dramatic entrance. The ground starts rumbling, and it's not a good sign. Something huge is about to happen. The knight raises his spear, and it's glowing with intense energy. This is going to be epic, right? But then, the spear slams down, and the entire tunnel starts collapsing, sending debris flying everywhere. Everyone is shocked, staring at the destruction. That's a lot of power, even for this world. The knight's power is surging, and the tunnel is literally being ripped apart. No way this is contained. The rubble is flying, and a huge blast of energy is shooting forward. It's like a golden tsunami. The blast keeps going, and everything in its path is obliterated, straight up annihilation. The tunnel is completely destroyed, and a skeleton mage is caught in the blast, and honestly, this dude had it coming. The mage crumbles into dust, and the knight's attack just keeps going. This is a full-scale power display. The knight straight up says you have to destroy the tombstone first. But he adds he doesn't mind taking them both out. Someone yells that the mage and golem are dead, and orders everyone to finish off the remaining monsters. Total chaos! This woman points out it took a whole rearguard 30 minutes to destroy Ev1 tombstone last time. Those things are seriously tough. She's looking at the knight's lance, realizing just how powerful it is, and it's glowing like crazy. The knight unleashes a massive blast, and the whole place starts shaking. This is way bigger than anyone expected. He's powering up, surrounded by lightning. This dude is about to level up the entire dungeon. The lance is radiating energy, a symbol etched into the side. It looks like some ancient, forbidden power. They clear the 8th floor, declaring there are no monsters left. A quick win, honestly. Everyone's ordering the healers to treat the wounded and setting up camp for the night. But they're also setting purification amulets, just in case. Someone's staring off into the distance, looking determined. Bro is already planning for the next fight, you know it. Our boy is searching for something in these old stone walls, muttering about finding it nearby. He's feeling around, rubbing the wall like he's looking for a hidden switch or something, getting real hands on. And boom, he finds it. A brick gives way and he's got this smug grin forming. No way. They found a temporary meeting room. It's just a draped-off space. But hey, it's something. This knight is laying down the plan: destroy all the tombstones to get to the boss quickly. Ambitious, honestly. Someone points out there are hundreds of tombstones, maybe thousands, but the knight insists it's worth it. He claims they can reach the boss room in just a couple of days if they clear a path. A bold claim, for sure. This woman looks skeptical, questioning the knight's confidence, but he's staring her down. The knight is radiating power, and it's clear he's serious. This dude is about to make things happen. Okay, so our boy and the raid party are facing a serious problem. The boss room is totally locked down with a crazy strong barrier. They learn from some old scrolls that to even get in, they have to kill the gatekeeper first. No surprise there. But here's the kicker: once they're inside, the door slams shut behind them, trapping them with the boss. And the only way out: straight up kill the boss. It's a one-way trip, which is kinda messed up. Someone asks if they can just brute force their way through the walls, which is a legit question, honestly. But apparently, the protective spells get stronger the deeper you go, so breaking through is a no-go after 10 years of trying. However, this dude Lucian has a plan, which is good because everyone else is looking pretty desperate. He's not some pushover, apparently, and has thought this through. We're about to see what he's got. Lucian's laying it all out, confident as heck, and you can tell he's about to drop some serious knowledge. This dude is giving off major "I've got this" vibes, and honestly, we're all hoping he actually does. Lucian's borrowing a sacred pillar, the stake of faith, for a hefty price, like 100,000 gold up front. He's sticking that stake in the door to keep it open, which is a bold move considering how ancient it is. Everyone's shocked. Even a door made by the great sages can't withstand this dude's strength. It's a good thing he can break sacred items, because otherwise they'd be totally stuck. Okay, so the attack group's job is to distract the boss and lure him away from Lucian. Got it. While they're doing that, Brother Ned is gonna sneak in and steal the dragon heart. Smooth move. Ned's got a plan once Lucian gets through the door, but it's super ominous and kinda creepy. And then, no way, he's ordering someone to awaken the Shoggoths, which are straight up nightmare fuel. This dude is seriously menacing, standing there with a creepy smile and his hands clasped together. But honestly, this whole setup feels like a trap, and our boy Lucian is walking right into it. Lucian and the other leaders have magic resistance, so the Shoggoth's mind control won't work on them. Thank goodness. But ordinary priests, they're toast. The Shoggoths can totally mess with their minds, even turning them against their allies. The leaders will panic for about 30 seconds, which is all the time the enemy needs to strike. They've got 3 minutes to either purify everyone's minds or kill the Shoggoths. No pressure, right? While the leaders are distracted, the boss is going to kindly deal with Lucian. That sounds ominous, bro. The plan is to escape the dungeon quickly and report a failed raid, but honestly, it feels like a total setup. They're handing out a special drug to disable the slave mark, meaning the priests can't force them to do anything. Drink it right before entering the boss room, they say, and it'll temporarily free them from control. And as if that wasn't enough, they're also giving everyone an ocarina of hypnos for when they escape. But don't use it until the operation begins. This dude is seriously playing 5D chess right now. Lucian's got a weird little device in his hand, and he's smirking. Something's definitely up. He's thinking about how the Tartarus worshippers put in so much effort, but honestly, he's using them. Lucian admits this makes his job easier, and he's about to activate the device right before the ritual begins. The priests are still chanting, but then music starts playing. What the heck is going on? The music's driving everyone insane. They're twitching, wriggling, and going totally haywire. No way. A monstrous, purple entity erupts from the floor, and the priests are screaming. It's a total disaster. This thing is UG, with glowing eyes and teeth, and it's straight up destroying everything in its path. People are flying everywhere, getting crushed by the monster. It's brutal, but Lucian looks unfazed. He's just standing there, watching the chaos unfold, and it's super unsettling, bro. But wait, he's actually smiling. This dude is a stone-cold mastermind, and I'm officially scared. Lucian's telling everyone to gather close and stay tight. It's a total misdirect, honestly. He's thinking to himself that now that they're distracted, his plan is going perfectly. He reaches for something, and his eyes are glowing. This is getting intense, bro. He's stepping into the light, and it's revealed that he's heading towards Zephyr. Zephyr's talking to someone about how the masters sent him to help with the mission. Someone else recognizes him. Isn't that Ned's helper? This is a major reveal. This other dude is furious, demanding to know what Zephyr is doing here. But Lucian interrupts and he drops a bomb. He reveals Zephyr's name. Apparently Zephyr is the master's son, and this dude is seriously powerful. And now everyone is looking at Zephyr. Our boy Lucian just dropped a massive plot twist. Lucian demands to know what everyone is staring at, and honestly, he's radiating intensity. He's grabbing a massive clock mechanism, and it's clear this isn't a friendly gesture. The clock starts to creak and crack under his grip. This is about to get messy. The whole place starts shaking, and a purple energy is bursting out from somewhere nearby. Lucian straight up sends himself flying with a burst of speed. No way, this is insane. The building is crumbling around them, but Lucian doesn't even flinch. Someone questions how Lucian single-handedly cleared out a nest of enraged cockatrices, but they think he's just showing off before the raid. They have no idea. Lucian is absolutely destroying everything, and he's clearly got a plan. He's making a power move, and honestly, he's terrifying in this moment. Zephyr reveals that as long as someone has the slave mark, they're forced to obey commands. Yikes! Lucian takes off, moving faster than anyone can track, but Zephyr isn't impressed at all. Zephyr is totally unfazed, demanding to know why Lucian hasn't stopped moving. This guy is cold. Someone explains they have a drug that temporarily disables the slave mark, meaning Lucian shouldn't be following orders. But Lucian did take the drug, and Zephyr is losing it, realizing he's not controlling him. Lucian grits his teeth, pushing through whatever Zephyr is throwing at him, and it's clear he's determined. Zephyr unleashes a massive blast of energy, but Lucian barrels right through it. No hesitation. He's glowing with power, and the energy around him is crackling. This dude is about to explode. Lucian screams a curse at Zephyr, and the energy around him intensifies, and honestly, he's terrifying. A massive rumble shakes everything, and someone cries out to the goddess as Lucian unleashes everything he's got. Okay, so the plan is laid out. Take the dragon heart, but no one's asking questions, which is already a red flag. Someone thinks this plan is actually good, straight up. That's concerning, to say the least. This dude, the Demon King, is laying it all out, and he's got this smug look like he's already won. He's basically saying if our boy tries to run with the dragon heart, he's dead, and honestly, sounds about right, but he's not scared. This dude boasts about how fast he is with the Dragon King's style martial arts. He's thinking he can just swipe the dragon heart and vanish, and no one will catch him. Massive confidence. Plus, he's considering just taking the dragon heart for himself, which is a bold move, to say the least. Someone points out two things, but before they can even say them, our boy is already making a power play. He's showing off a ring, and you can tell he's about to do something crazy. This is getting good. This dude is planning something massive, and it's clear he's not backing down. The tension is real. Okay, so someone knows how to absorb the dragon heart, Cardinal Olden, who's chilling in the third parish. But here's the catch: Olden's got twin knights, and they're straight up some of the strongest warriors around. If our boy doesn't show up to this meeting, those knights will hunt him down, no questions asked. And it gets worse. If anyone finds out he's running, all the Tartarus worshippers will be after him too. However, Olden reveals that all of this is under the command of their master, the Dragon King himself. This dude is completely confident, saying he's prepared for everything. Massive ego here. But then Olden asks if he's really ready to face all of this, and the tension is insane. Our boy is thinking he can just handle everything, but honestly, this is a whole new level of danger. He's talking about a special martial arts style, but it feels like he's underestimating the situation. And just when you think he's got a plan, he's questioning if he can actually pull it off. Okay, so our boy tries to hand the dragon heart over to Olden himself, thinking he's being smart. But Olden's second in command doesn't believe it. He thinks this is a trick and attacks. Straight up, a flash of green energy explodes as they clash, and the fight is on. This dude is moving fast, deflecting blows with insane speed. It's a whirlwind of light. He lands a hit, sending the enemy flying, but another knight jumps in to take his place. Our boy is fighting two of the strongest warriors around, and honestly, it's looking rough. However, Olden is getting suspicious. He's demanding to know why he's offering the heart. Olden reveals he already knows the Dragon King is in the dungeon. This is a setup. Olden refuses to let this plan deviate, and bro is seriously menacing right now. No way. Olden's questioning why our boy is even here, and the tension is building fast. Olden reveals the master trusted him with the details. Wow, that's a power move. He explains Jinriang spilled the beans, but Olden points out he didn't reveal how the dragon heart is moving. Olden boasts they have a foolproof plan, telling our boy to just do his part. Sounds too good to be true. Someone else chimes in, surprised Jinriang shared anything at all, because secrecy is everything in their organization. This other guy is laying it on thick, saying the master must really trust our boy. Sketchy vibes big time. He laughs, then confirms everything Zephyr said is true. So Zephyr was telling the truth all along. No way. Olden reveals his nemesis, Cardinal Olden Lasker, is actually a leader of the Tartarus worshippers. And it gets worse. Olden admits Lasker is close to the master, and was assigned this mission. He's practically saying Olden is a double agent, and our boy is stuck right in the middle of it all. However, Olden is totally playing it cool, like he's been one step ahead the whole time. This is intense. Olden's absolutely losing it, realizing the master was played all along. This is a total betrayal. He's screaming about the Tartarus worshippers and the Temple of Light, vowing to destroy them all, straight up. Our boy is furious, unleashing a massive energy blast, but Olden's already moving. It's a chaotic showdown. Olden dodges the attack and demands to know what our boy is doing, telling him to just keep moving. Talk about pressure! But Olden's power is insane. He's creating these ghostly, skeletal warriors, and they're closing in fast. He's unleashing a massive blast of energy, and it's obliterating everything in its path, a total KO moment. Olden's still pushing forward, even with all that power coming at him. This dude is relentless. He's shouting he'll never forgive them, and honestly, this rage is kind of terrifying. Olden's completely overwhelmed, but he's got this crazy determined look. He won't go down without a fight. However, Olden's power is clearly surpassing even his own. This is getting seriously out of hand. Olden knows something huge, blurting it out as our boy is locked in combat. No time for explanations? He's yelling at Olden, telling him to stay focused, but Olden's already bracing for a massive attack. A blinding blast erupts, sending shockwaves everywhere, and Olden's unleashing some serious power of his own. The two attacks collide in this insane explosion of light and energy. It's a total clash of titans. Everything's shaking, the temple is crumbling, and a green beam of light shoots down from the ceiling. Olden's getting obliterated, but he's still standing, defiant against this overwhelming force. What a fighter. The beam intensifies and Olden's body starts to distort, looking less and less human. It's terrifying. He's screaming in agony, his bones visibly breaking, but still, he refuses to fall. This is brutal. This dark energy is enveloping him, and he's reaching out with skeletal hands. It's seriously creepy. The temple is collapsing around them, and Olden is completely consumed by the darkness. 8 seconds, and it's over. The Demon King is lifting Olden into the air, and straight up declares everything belongs to him. Talk about a power move. The temple is rumbling, and the Demon King swings his weapon, unleashing a massive burst of energy. It's chaos. This dude is going full on monster mode, swinging that axe like it's nothing, and honestly, it looks unstoppable. Olden's friend yells for them to run, but it's too late. The Demon King is already leaping into action. He jumps then hops, surrounded by this insane purple energy. It's like watching a nightmare unfold in slow motion. Olden and his friend are sprinting, but they're clearly outmatched. The Demon King is gaining on them fast. Olden's friend says there's no way, but seriously, what did they expect? This thing is a walking apocalypse. They're at the entrance to the boss room, and Olden's friend is bracing for a fight. It's about to go down. Boom, the Demon King unleashes a massive attack, sending energy blasts flying everywhere. Total chaos. Olden makes a grab for something, but the Demon King is already launching himself forward with incredible speed. This dude is Felian axe raised, and his friend is completely left in the dust. No way he can keep up. Olden's diving in, ready to fight, but the Demon King just looks down on him. This is a mismatch? Okay, so our boy and his companion are deep inside this ancient tomb, and boom, a spectral figure appears out of nowhere. It's Princess Eurydice, the one who's actually buried in this tomb, and she's radiating power, straight up terrifying power. The companion thinks the historical records must be wrong about her, claiming someone like her could never do something awful. But hold up, she's breaking into the tomb, and she's not happy about it, ranting about them searching for a dragon heart. Her eye, it glows crimson, and it's seriously unsettling, like she's about to unleash something huge. She wishes she could take away Eurydice's sadness, but it's clear this princess is way beyond just sad. And honestly, this dude's face says it all. He realizes they messed with the wrong spirit big time. She's clearly a force to be reckoned with, and the companion is realizing their assumptions were way off. However, she's not just sad, she's furious, and it's radiating off her like a shockwave. This princess is straight up menacing, and our boy just knows they're in way over their heads. Our boy tries to grab the princess, thinking he can restrain her, but she's way too fast. She's unleashing this insane magical energy, and it's clear she's not playing around anymore. He yells at his companion not to be a fool, realizing they walked into a serious trap. He thinks his companion fell for a simple spell, but it's actually a deep-seated trauma resurfacing. The princess is losing it, tears streaming down her face as she unleashes more power. She lets out this creepy laugh, and honestly, it sends chills down your spine. The tomb starts to rumble, and she's amplifying the energy, like she's about to destroy everything. Her eyes are glowing red, and she's got this terrifying grin. She's ready to consume him. She declares she's going to devour him, and her power is just overflowing at this point. But then, our boy realizes she's coming, and he's bracing for another round of pain. The Demon King unleashes a massive attack, and our boy is getting absolutely wrecked. It's a total beatdown. But wait, it's not over. The princess jumps in front of him, taking the full force of the attack herself. She's screaming at him, demanding to know why he's protecting her, and honestly, it's a little confusing. He tries to explain about the spell, but she's not listening, unleashing even more power with a terrifying smile. Suddenly, thorny vines erupt all around them, trapping everyone in a deadly cage. This is bad, real bad. The Demon King is laughing maniacally, declaring they're both gonna die, and it's seriously unsettling. He yells at her to break the spell, but she snaps back, saying it's already broken, and things are getting chaotic. This dude is getting tossed around like a rag doll, but he manages to get a grip on his sword, determined to fight back. She asks him how he likes his little girlfriend now, and bro, the tension is THCK. She's not messing around. But then, everything goes white, and it looks like our boy is getting sent back in time. No way! The Demon King, Eurydice, is unleashing this insane skill called Dark Hand, and it's straight up terrifying. These hands are absorbing stamina and mana, meaning she's healing herself off of them. That's messed up. Apparently, she can create hundreds of these hands, and there was a dungeon raid report about it in his past life. People in the past were getting wrecked by this skill, needing potions just to survive, and honestly, it sounds brutal. Our boy is trying to fight her off, but she's just sucking up all their energy. It's a losing battle, for real. She's bragging about how he's basically feeding her power, and the dude is barely holding on. It's a total power imbalance. But wait, he survived. Apparently, someone named Lucius miraculously beat her once before, though he almost died doing it. Some old dude is watching everything unfold, and he's clearly hoping our boy fails. Talk about a bad vibe. Suddenly, he's granted a new perk, Wall of Iron, given by a god of debt. What does that even mean? It stores all the damage and fatigue he takes, and then unleashes it all when his mana hits 0. That sounds dangerous. Matthias is straight up accusing someone of being a spy, demanding to know how long they've been on the Demon King's side. This dude Matthias just drops a bombshell. He's been playing Eurydice this whole time, working with her. He admits to using the slave trade to escape, even if it takes a while, and honestly, it's a cold move. He has no clue what the dungeon even looks like anymore, which is kinda messed up considering he built it. But wait, he's gritting his teeth and looking away. Something's definitely off with this guy. Someone is yelling at him, saying they've spent 10 years working towards this, and he's just throwing it all away. She's demanding to know how long he's been on their side, and he's just silent. The tension is killing me. He finally speaks, revealing he's been working with Eurydice from the start, and it's a total betrayal. But our boy isn't backing down. He's willing to sacrifice everything to achieve his goals, even if it means siding with the enemy. And just when you think it can't get worse, Matthias is starting to smile. This dude is seriously unhinged. Okay, so Matthias is having a rough day. He's facing a holy knight with a legendary weapon, plus a whole healing squad. He's convinced they haven't discovered his hidden allies, but honestly, that feels like a massive gamble. Our boy thinks he has an advantage, and he's banking on catching these holy knights off guard. It's a long shot. He's starting to flick his fingers, and it's creepy, but he's trying to send a signal to someone hidden amongst the enemy. But wait, there are spies within the ranks of the holy knights. It's a full-on double-cross situation. This dude is straight up hoping they can pull off a miracle, because facing this many enemies is insane. He's thinking about all the things he doesn't have. No dungeon boss, no Shoggoths, just him and a plan. However, he's got a secret weapon, a hidden force ready to strike, and it might just be enough to turn the tide. And now he's flicking his fingers again, confirming the signal, and those hidden allies are about to reveal themselves. No way, one of the holy knights is taking off his helmet, and it's someone we've seen before. This is getting wild. Okay, so the Tartarus worshippers are handing out potions. A special one that deactivates slave marks, apparently. He grabs the potion, and it's a total power move, but it feels like a trap, right? Like, seriously suspicious. But he drinks it anyway, hoping it'll buy him time. And honestly, we're all on the edge of our seats. No way. He's making eye contact with Matthias, and this dude is straight up daring him to make a move. Okay, so things are bad. Our boy is getting absolutely wrecked by this massive, creepy centipede thing. A warning flashes on the screen. This episode is violent. No kidding, right? The centipede keeps coming, and it's straight up horrifying, lunging at our hero with terrifying speed. It's slithering all over him, and honestly, this dude had it coming for pushing his luck. But wait, the centipede isn't just attacking, it's covered in smaller bugs, and they're inside people. Turns out these marked bugs are the source of power for the Tartarus worshippers, which is a whole new level of messed up. And here's the kicker, the mark of Tartarus is actually on the bugs, not the worshippers themselves, which is just clever. So they can be Butich temple priests and Tartarus worshippers simultaneously, breaking all the rules. He manages to blast one of the centipedes away with a huge energy burst, but more are coming, and they're relentless. This whole situation is messed up, but our boy's gotta figure out how to stop these bugs before it's too late. He's shocked. Apparently, all of these people are Tartarus worshippers, which is a total twist. This dude unleashes a massive attack, and it sends the worshippers flying with a huge rom sound. Chains burst out and wrap around them all, but it's like it barely slows them down. They're tough. A commander steps forward and finishes off 30 slaves in just 30 seconds, showing how strong these guys are. But this commander is nothing compared to Lucilius. He's on another level of powerful. Lucilius moves, and chains explode everywhere, but our boy is still standing, though clearly struggling. He tries to fight back, but he can't even scratch Lucilius. This is bad, really bad. He admits it's a harder fight than he expected, and straight up says, damn it. Mood. He realizes he couldn't even make a dent in Lucilius, and it's a huge blow to his confidence. Everything is just golden light and energy, and it's clear this battle is far from over. A statue asks if this is the fate the gods have planned for them. Deep stuff, honestly. Lucilius just straight up skewers him with his spear, and it's brutal. Blood everywhere, no way. He's coughing up blood and getting chained up, and it's looking really grim for our boy right now. He's getting absolutely demolished, and Lucilius is just standing there looking smug. He demands to know why Matthias betrayed him. Finally, some answers maybe? Matthias is clearly in agony, chained up and spitting blood, but he's still defiant. Lucilius's eyes glow and he's radiating power. This dude is seriously terrifying. He's shouting for the goddess, and suddenly Lucilius transforms into something monstrous. The transformation is complete, and Lucilius is a horrifying, grinning beast, radiating red energy. Red energy blasts outwards, and everything is chaos. This is a whole new level of bad. Lucilius reveals the Tartarus worshipper's secret weapon, a red stone, and it looks seriously ominous, honestly. He explains it resonates with the marked bug and turns people into demons. Talk about a power-up gone wrong. He warns Matthias to only use it as a last resort, but we all know that's not gonna happen, right? Matthias activates the stone, and the transformation begins. It's all swirling energy and cracking bones. His body contorts, and he screams in agony, but he's embracing the power. This is getting intense. He's fully transformed, a hulking demon, and it's terrifying. No way this is good for anyone. Matthias launches himself at Lucilius, a red blur of rage, and it's a desperate all-or-nothing attack. Lucilius casually swats him aside like a fly, and our boy is sent crashing. That was humiliating. He's down defeated, and Lucilius is just standing there smirking, and honestly, this dude had it coming. Lucilius prepares to finish him off, but then everything goes black. What just happened? Lucilius drops some seriously messed up truth bombs. Everything Matthias has he believes should have been his. He's ranting about being manipulated by the gods, but if being human is the problem, he's done with it. And just like that, Matthias undergoes a full-blown demon transformation. It's terrifying and epic. He's officially Matthias Grimmer in demon form, and it's a total power-up, but at what cost? Suddenly, someone yells attack! It's a desperate attempt to turn the tide of this battle. A knight cries out to Arya, begging for strength, and golden light begins to flood the scene. Battle Light activates, boosting everyone's stats by 120%. That's a massive power surge right there. It amps up attack power, light attributes, mana defense, and recovery. They're going all in. Golden energy explodes outwards, a dazzling display of power. It's like a fireworks show, honestly. The light streaks towards Matthias, and it looks like they actually might have a chance now, but we'll see. Matthias unleashes a massive blast of energy, but Lucilius just casually swats it away. This guy is on another level. He's trying to get close to land a direct hit, but Lucilius anticipates every move and counters with brutal force. Lucilius sends a shockwave that sends Matthias flying. Our boy is getting wrecked, straight up. Arya and the others are cheering for their commander, believing he can still win. They have faith, bless them. Matthias, enraged, focuses all his power into one final attack, a desperate gamble to break through. He throws a concentrated blast, but Lucilius just smirks and meets it head-on. It's a clash of titans. The explosion is immense, engulfing everything in blinding light. It looks like Matthias actually landed a hit. Lucilius is momentarily stunned, a rare sight, but he quickly recovers. This dude is seriously tough. Lucilius unleashes a counterattack, a dark energy blast, and it hits Matthias with devastating force. Matthias is down, but the knights still believe. They're yelling encouragement, but it feels futile. Lucilius unleashes a lightning, fast attack, and Matthias barely manages to block it. The energy crackles around them. Lucilius launches forward, spear aimed right at Matthias, but he dodges, narrowly avoiding a fatal blow. Matthias retaliates, slashing at Lucilius, but it's like hitting steel. This guy's impenetrable, seriously. He's trying to create distance, but Lucilius is relentless, pressing the attack with terrifying speed and power. The knights watch in horror as Lucilius overwhelms Matthias. It's looking grim, and honestly, they're starting to panic. They desperately call for help, wondering how they can possibly defeat someone this strong. A legendary item wasn't even enough. Okay, so things are BD. This episode starts with a warning about violence, and honestly, it delivers. Our boy is going ALO'd against the Demon King, throwing everything he has at her, but she's just too strong. He yells for Ned, trying to save his friend, but it's looking grim. She's got Ned in her grasp. Ned realizes something, shouting that he knows what's happening, but it's too late. She's already moving. She unleashes this massive power, wings exploding out, and it's straight up terrifying, a purple, chaotic mess. The sword clashes, but it's not enough. She's about to overwhelm him completely. The force is insane. A huge burst of energy erupts. It looks like he's trying a desperate last-ditch effort, but it's failing. They're talking strategy, realizing even hitting her with everything they've got won't be enough. The plan: destroy her head, which will trigger a Skyundi form. Apparently, that's how this works. But she's already getting stronger, and honestly, this whole situation is just bad, really bad. He's going for the head, channeling everything into one attack. It's a risky move, but it's all he's got. The sword connects, and the Demon King's head does explode. But like we suspected, that unlocks a whole new level of power. She's glowing, radiating insane energy, and apparently, this sword, the stake of faith, is key to controlling it. This dude is trying to force the stake into her, but she's fighting back. The power surging between them is unreal. He manages to stab her with it, and a massive blast of energy erupts. It's like a supernova, honestly. The stake is glowing, absorbing her dark aura, and it's actually working, but it's taking a huge toll on our boy. She's screaming, and the stake is overloading with power. It's a chaotic scene, purple energy everywhere. But she's still fighting, and the stake begins to crack under the strain. No way, it's breaking apart. The sword shatters, and she unleashes a final, devastating blast. It's a direct hit, and things look real bad. He's down, defeated, and she's about to finish him off. But then, everything goes white. Okay, so while she's reeling, our boy is hacking her, straight up trying to disable her abilities. He's realizing that even a legendary item doesn't have endless power, and the stake is about to become just a heavy piece of metal. Apparently, Lucius borrowed the stake from the Pope, but didn't realize it's useless once the divine energy is gone. He's swinging his sword again, but it's clear the divine enchantment is fading fast. Things are looking grim. The stake stops reacting to the enemy, which means she's no longer a threat. What does that even mean? The stake is glowing, but not with divine energy. It's like it's absorbing something from her instead. Whoa, the energy is swirling and the ground is cracking. This is getting intense. He's realizing all his weapons have lost their enchantment, and honestly, this dude is in trouble. But wait, he's got a plan, and it involves destroying her head again. He's going for a finishing blow, channeling everything into the attack, and honestly, it's a pretty epic scene. Someone believes Lucius will survive, thanks to the goddess of light, but honestly, that feels optimistic. The enemy's bottles shatter, and a mysterious energy is released. It's like she's giving up on reviving herself. Okay, so she can't revive, and if she dies, a dangerous gatekeeper will appear. Huge problem. This dude is determined to find the dragon heart, and he's got that intense, focused look in his eyes. He tosses something to the woman, and she's not thrilled. Apparently, it's for recovery, because things are about to get wild. She wants to use it now, but he insists they need it later. Bro is playing the long game, even in a crisis. The woman reveals this dungeon boss was considered one of the 8 trials of the world. No pressure, right? He's thinking back to the fight, and it's clear he underestimated her. This dude needs to learn from his mistakes. He's realizing that she's been playing with them the whole time, and honestly, that's a super annoying reveal. But wait, she's just stalling for time, and he's starting to understand her true goal. This is getting good. He's not a pushover, but straight up admits he couldn't pull off that miracle on his own. It was all part of his plan, and our boy is starting to realize just how much he doesn't know. This is way beyond surprising. He feels like someone is looking down on everyone, and it's creeping him out. Suddenly, a massive attack lands, and the enemy is sent flying with a huge BNG. It's brutal. The enemy crashes into something, and honestly, it sounds like bones are breaking with each THUD. The attack keeps coming, and the enemy is getting absolutely wrecked with more and more THUDs. Purple energy is leaking everywhere, and our boy sees a dark liquid dripping. It's not looking good. The enemy lets out a guttural URGHH. This dude is seriously hurt but still fighting back. But the enemy isn't done, unleashing another furious attack with a massive GRRR and a series of TMPS. He's trying to fight back, but the enemy is relentless, and it's clear our boy is outmatched right now. Purple energy is seeping into the armor, and it's clearly messing with Giorgio's. This is bad. The whole place starts rumbling, like something massive is about to break, and honestly, it feels ominous. The energy intensifies, and Giorgio's armor is glowing. It's like whatever's happening is centered on him. This dark, smoky stuff is swirling around, and it's taking shape. It's forming a face, a really creepy one. No way. The smoky face has a single, glowing red eye, and it's staring right at our boy. The smoky figure fully forms, and it's Giorgio's butt, twisted, corrupted, and seriously menacing. Corrupted Giorgio speaks, revealing he knows this dude, and calls him my knight. That's a twist. He's all, my knight, in shining armor, and it's dripping with sarcasm. This is unsettling, to say the least. Everything explodes in a burst of purple energy, and it's a full-on chaotic mess, like a power-up gone wrong. But wait, the attack is over, and this corrupted Giorgio's is still standing, looking totally unbothered. Wait a minute. Giorgio's is confused, asking what's going on as the corrupted version attacks. But then it hits him they didn't beat the gatekeeper before the boss room, and the future has changed. He realizes unlike Lucian, they messed up the order, and now everything is different. However, before he can fully process it, a massive blast of energy knocks him back. This is intense. Our boy is reeling, and the corrupted Giorgio's just looms over him, the situation looking super bleak. Okay, so our boy is facing the Demon King, and things are looking grim, to say the least. He's channeling all his power, wrapping his hands, preparing for a serious beatdown. This dude means business. But the Demon King just laughs, unleashing a terrifying power that straight up overwhelms him. He tries to boost his mana, focusing everything he has into one final attack, but it's not enough. The Demon King moves, and it's fast, a blur of black and red cutting through everything. Our boy gets sliced to ribbons, no way around it, and honestly, this dude had it coming. However, instead of dying, he gets sent back in time, back to when he was a weakling. Now he's got a second chance. And you know what that means, time to speedrun the apocalypse. The Demon King is unleashing a crazy attack, but our boy just freezes it. Literally, he cracks the frozen energy, showing everyone he's not messing around this time, and is ready for war. The Demon King's attack connects, but our boy activates Black Mirror, reflecting the damage right back at him. He's expecting the Demon King to get wrecked, confidently saying the attack worked, but then, the Demon King isn't damaged at all. He's barely flinching, and straight up smirks at our boy's little trick. Another attack lands, slicing through our boy's shoulder, and he's visibly staggered. This is bad, really bad. He's bleeding, but he's still standing, and seems to be calculating the Demon King's power and abilities. The Demon King is radiating power, showing off a creepy ritual circle, and it's clear he's not messing around. He explains Black Mirror can reflect up to 300% of the damage, but this dude is clearly on another level. The Demon King unleashes another blast, and our boy is getting demolished. It's a full-on energy assault. However, the reflected energy isn't enough. The Demon King just absorbs it like it's nothing. This dude is losing, and losing fast. The Demon King is way stronger than he anticipated. The Demon King unveils some dark power called Dark Hand. It's a swirling mass of energy, and looks terrifying. He unleashes it, and it's a brutal, fast attack, sending waves of energy crashing into our boy. Our boy is getting absolutely wrecked, screaming in pain as the attack connects. It's a full-on beatdown. He tries to counter with a fist of pure energy, a lightning palm, but it's barely a scratch to the Demon King. The Demon King responds with another massive blast, and our boy is getting sent flying. This is rough. He's pummeled by a series of attacks, ba-ba-bam after ba-ba-bam, but he's still fighting back. He's trying to unleash more energy, channeling power through his arms, but it feels like too little, too late. The Demon King unleashes a final, devastating blow, Ki-Abuo-Am, and it looks like our boy is completely overwhelmed. The Demon King's hand glows with dark energy, and he's about to deliver the final strike. It's looking grim. He lands the hit, and honestly, it looks like our boy is completely finished. No way he survives that. He's desperately trying this Eastern skill, finding the magic channels in the Demon King's body, tapping, tapping, tapping. This skill doesn't deal much damage, but it's about control, stopping the Demon King's mana flow. He realizes the Demon King is a grand sorceress, and mana is coursing through her fast, but he's gotta try. Our boy manages to disrupt her mana, and these spiderweb-like restraints appear. It's actually working. But the Demon King isn't down for long. She bursts through the webs with a powerful dash. She lands a blow, and it's a direct hit. Stick. But he's already swinging to counter. He explains those spiderwebs are from stopping her mana, and he's using it to his advantage. She's unleashing her own power, but our boy is holding strong, pushing back against her attack. The Demon King is reeling. He's actually managing to suppress her mana. It's incredible. However, she's still incredibly powerful, and this fight is far from over. She's not going down easily. He's trying to push the Demon King back with everything he's got, but she's too strong. She's overpowering him. The Demon King's eye is glowing red, and she's straight up furious. This dude poked the bear. Wait, he's pulling out a miraculous rosary. Apparently it's got healing skills embedded in each bead. The description says it can heal anyone, even non-priests, but each bead only works once. Talk about limited use. He throws the beads at the Demon King, and they explode with energy. It's a desperate gamble to buy time. One bead hits, and the Demon King flinches, but it's not enough to stop her. She's still coming. Another bead connects, and this time it actually seems to hurt, momentarily staggering the Demon King. He says he's just trying to keep her alive, which is weird. But okay, he's got a plan, maybe. The Demon King finally breaks through, landing a massive blow, and our boy is sent flying backwards. He crashes hard, looking totally wrecked, but he's still conscious. This dude is seriously tough. The Demon King's sword whips out, and she's aiming right for our boy. He's trying to block, but it's no use. He's reeling, shocked she stopped his mana control so quickly. What a beast, honestly. The Demon King grabs him with thorny vines, and it looks incredibly painful, like seriously bad. Suddenly, a massive surge of red energy explodes. It's like she's unleashing everything she's got. This energy forms a huge, swirling vortex, and a ghostly figure emerges from within. No way! The ghostly figure is revealed to be a woman, and she's radiating power. It's intense. The Demon King is clearly furious, but this new arrival doesn't seem fazed at all. She's unfazed. Our boy is staring, stunned. He's realizing this isn't just a fight anymore. It's something else. The woman smirks and her eyes glow. She's about to do something big, and it's terrifying. She unleashes a massive blast of energy, and our boy is completely overwhelmed. This is bad, really bad. The Demon King unleashes a final, devastating attack, and our boy is completely blown away. It's over. A teacup falls and shatters, symbolizing everything lost. It's a bleak moment, honestly. Someone rushes over, asking if he's okay, but he's clearly beyond help. It's too late for that. He starts gathering the broken pieces, seemingly accepting his fate. What a twist. He clutches a shard of the cup, and a single tear rolls down his face. This dude is heartbroken. But wait, his eye glows with a strange, emerald light, and a sinister smile creeps across his lips. He's not defeated, he's changed, and now he's ready to rewind time and do things differently. Okay, so this episode starts with a huge warning. Things are about to get brutal, like seriously violent. Our boy discovers this ancient symbol, and apparently it's proof the gods were straight up defeated in the past. He learns the symbol is a total taboo, and the gods will unleash divine punishment on anyone who even draws it. This dude, without a second thought, starts sketching it anyway, knowing full well what's coming. What a rebel! He finishes the symbol, and immediately a blinding light erupts, promising some seriously painful payback. No way, a massive angel descends, unleashing a devastating attack on our boy. It's a total beatdown. He's getting wrecked, but then the angel creates a barrier, and our boy realizes he can't sense Eurydice anymore. He's injured, but relieved. The barrier gives him time to recover, though something's definitely off. However, it quickly becomes clear this isn't a rescue, it's a setup, and he's trapped with no way out. But wait, the angel is actually sealing him off to allow time for divine punishment. Talk about a twisted rescue. The angel, who sent him back in time, demands to know if he's forgotten she's the one who did it. But our boy is unbothered, straight up asking for payment if the angel wants answers. She's furious, realizing he's playing her, and this dude is clearly not the same person she remembers. No way, she reveals she sent him back to his weakest self, hoping he'd be easier to control. However, he knew exactly what she was doing and planned for it all along, the ultimate power move. He explains he used her time travel to gather power, and now he's going to break the cycle of doom. The angel tries to stop him, but he's too strong. She's genuinely shocked by his power level. This dude is unleashing a massive attack, and the angel is barely holding on. It's intense. But she's not going down without a fight, summoning her full power and wings in a last-ditch effort. And honestly, this episode ends with a massive rumble, hinting at a full-blown war between them. No way. The angel attacks, but our boy deflects with a glowing blade, slicing her hand. She's furious, demanding he show some respect, but this dude just wants her to finish him off. He reveals the gods gave him special perks, like a sword of light and a wall of iron. But there's a catch. Each perk comes with a price, and the gods want something in return. He's got a revive skill too, letting him come back 3 days after death, but his soul belongs to the god of death. This dude is playing a dangerous game, accumulating debt with every skill he uses. Suddenly, a shadowy figure appears, boasting about a double-edged sword to break the cycle. And honestly, it's the god of death, straight up ready to collect on his deal. He's not afraid though. Our boy is grinning, clearly having planned for this confrontation. This episode ends with a power-up, and it's clear our boy is ready to rewrite the apocalypse. He's laying it all out. If he dies, both sides lose what they're after, and the god of death gets his soul. Neither side wants him dead, so they sent an angel to stop him from completing some kind of symbol. But this dude doesn't need their pathetic perks. He wants something better from the gods. Straight up, he's calling the gods out, saying their gifts are useless and he'd rather die right there. He's demanding to know if they're listening, because if he dies, things change. Everyone stands to gain or lose something, and he's making sure they know it. He's challenging those with something to lose, asking if they'll just let this happen. Our boy is doomed, letting them twiddle their thumbs while he fights for survival. This is it. He's clearly prepping for a major power-up in a full-on showdown. And honestly, it's about to get real. This dude is rewriting the apocalypse, one skill at a time. The god of the sky offers a chance, while the god of death just holds a weird glowing flower. We get a full divine lineup, blacksmiths, doctors, and someone hidden under a hat. No way! The goddess of luck is calling out Zephyr, and it's clear something's wrong, like, seriously wrong. The goddess of light is silent, but menacing, and honestly, she looks terrifying. She speaks, or tries to, but it's just static, hinting at a huge power block or something. The goddess of luck is crying, and a single tear falls as everything starts to shake. Suddenly, Sime explodes across the screen. It's a name and it's connected to our boy. He's getting absolutely demolished, covered in blood, but still trying to stand tall. This dude is shouting "this is," as he clutches his face, clearly in immense pain. The goddess of luck is pleading, asking if this is really what everyone wants, but it's too late. Okay, so our boy unleashes this insane blast. It's like a sonic boom of pure energy. But the Demon King just absorbs it, like it's nothing, and then retaliates with a massive energy wave. He's cracking, crumbling. It's brutal, and the Demon King is straight up toying with him. The goddess of luck is screaming, begging for it to stop, but the Demon King doesn't care. Our boy is getting absolutely wrecked, but he manages to stumble back, clearly trying to buy time. He's unleashing everything he has, but the Demon King is just too powerful, too overwhelming. This dude tries to fight back, but the Demon King grabs his head and starts messing with his mind. No way, the Demon King is pulling memories from him, and it looks incredibly painful for our boy. Suddenly, the Demon King goes into overdrive, radiating this terrifying, chaotic energy. He's completely consumed by darkness, and honestly, this looks like the end. It's terrifying. He unleashes a furious attack, a whirlwind of energy, but the Demon King just swats it away like a fly. The Demon King counters with a massive slash and our boy barely dodges. It's a hair's breadth escape. He's twisting, turning, trying to overwhelm the Demon King with speed, but it's not enough. This dude is relentless. No way. The Demon King grabs his weapon, and it's a clash of titans, energy exploding everywhere. Our boy is sent flying, crashing into something, but he's already back on his feet, refusing to stay down. He focuses all his power into one final strike, a desperate gamble, but the Demon King just laughs it off. Straight up defeated, our boy collapses, and the Demon King stands over him, victorious. It's over. Okay, so our boy just handed over the dragon heart of Kaisaurus to the Royal Highness, a seriously powerful dragon. But hold up. A warning flashes across the screen, saying this episode's gonna get rough. And it's not kidding. Georgios, the knight, straight up dedicates himself to the Royal Highness, presenting something massive and important. She acknowledges his deed, calling him dear knight. But things are immediately weird and tense. You can feel it. Georgios asks to be called Eurydice instead of your Royal Highness, which is unexpected, to say the least. Eurydice is all smiles, but her eyes are straight up red, and it's super unsettling. She's hiding something big. Eurydice asks if there was anything Georgios wanted to share after defeating Kaisaurus, hinting at a secret. They're standing there, bathed in golden light, and it's beautiful, but also a total setup for something awful. Georgios starts removing his helmet, the metal clinking ominously, and honestly, it's a bad idea. He's taking off his armor, and you just know this is the last moment of peace before everything explodes. They both believed they'd live happily ever after, but man, that thought is immediately crushed. Eurydice reveals she's been using magic for 1,000 years to purify the dragon heart. It's intense. She finally succeeds. The curse destroys her human form. Talk about a Pyrrhic victory. Eurydice thanks our boy and his companion for freeing her from the darkness, which is a little creepy. She's got these piercing red eyes and a chilling smile. Something is seriously off with her. She leans in close, and honestly, it's super unsettling. You can feel the tension building. Eurydice asks if they dare to desire the dragon heart, and it's a straight-up threat. She's fully revealed now, and she's terrifying. This is not the happily ever after face. She's still staring intently, and it's clear she's sizing them up, and this dude is in trouble. She's fixated on the dragon heart, and you just know this is about to go sideways fast. Georgios offers to let Eurydice read his memories, and honestly, it's a huge mistake. She activates her skill, communion, and her hand glows. This is getting intense, fast. No way, she's diving into his memories, and it's a flashback to a massive, fiery battle. We see a terrifying army of dragons, led by a colossal, spiky beast. This is the Demon King, y'all. The Demon King is straight up menacing, and Georgios is kneeling before him, looking defeated. Eurydice is shocked by what she sees. Apparently, Georgios was the one who sealed the Demon King away. She realizes he was the strongest warrior of his age, but lost everything in the process. Talk about a tragic backstory. But here's the twist: she was the one who betrayed him, and unleashed the Demon King in the first place. She's so smug about it too, like she wanted this to happen. And honestly, this woman is evil. She's holding him, and her face is chilling. This dude just got played, and we're about to see a rewind. Eurydice unleashes a massive blast of energy, and Georgios is getting absolutely wrecked. It's brutal. He's trying to fight back, sword swinging, but her power is just overwhelming him, straight up. She's mocking him while beating him down. asking why he looks so desperate. This woman is ice cold. Georgios takes a huge hit, and it looks like he's about to go down for good. But suddenly, a surge of energy explodes around him. It's that same dark power from before. He's engulfed in the energy, and everyone's realizing it's the thing that nullifies his booster buff. The Demon King is loving this, laughing at Georgios' misfortune. What a jerk. Georgios is trying to hold on, but the dark energy is draining his strength, and it's a bad sign. She lands a final blow and Georgios is completely defeated. It's over for our boy. However, instead of killing him, she sends him hurtling back in time, back to when he was weak. Georgios is absolutely furious, realizing someone's been hiding something huge from him. No way! Suddenly, a massive burst of flames erupts, and everyone is scrambling to avoid getting roasted. It's a full-on inferno, and the knights are getting wrecked by the sheer power of it. AHH! Two knights are desperately trying to figure out how to get through the chaos and reach help, but it looks hopeless. One of them notices the Tartarus worshippers are distracted and has a seriously shady idea brewing. He thinks taking out the head healer or the rearguard captain will give them an opening, and honestly, it's cold. Another knight is amazed by the demonic power on display. This is straight up terrifying. He realizes this is exactly what the Tartarus worshippers are after, and it's a bad sign for everyone. But the scheming knight is already making his move, and they're completely distracted. Perfect timing for him. The hooded figure scoffs, declaring they brought this on themselves, and refuses to take responsibility. What a jerk. This dude is straight up slicing and dicing, but these shadowy worms are bursting out of people. Someone realizes there are Tartarus worshippers among the priests. No way is that good. The worms are twitching and writhing, and it's seriously unsettling. But Georgios is absorbing their power. Turns out, Georgios has a demon skill called Power Drain, gathering energy from these marked bugs. He's growing stronger, transforming into a monstrous form. This is a whole other level of power. Georgios thanks his brothers, and honestly, it's sending chills down my spine. He's getting a serious power up, and it's all thanks to those creepy Tartarus worshippers. The worms are now fully absorbed and Georgios is radiating pure demonic energy. Intense! But hold up, he's not just getting stronger, he's becoming a full-blown demon himself. Our boy is completing his transformation, and it's terrifying, but he's ready to wreak havoc. Georgios declares he'll use everyone's lives for a good cause. Talk about a villain monologue. Someone yells that Georgios' skill is dangerous, urging everyone to defend themselves. But it's already too late. He unleashes a massive explosion of red energy, and straight up engulfs the entire area in flames. The blast wave is intense. It's like a fiery tsunami crashing down on everything. A knight tries to shield everyone, but the flames are overwhelming. It's a desperate attempt. The knight is engulfed in fire, but he's somehow holding on, creating a barrier. What a champ! However, the flames are relentless, and the knight is clearly straining. This isn't sustainable. Someone shouts at Matthias to stop, begging him to end this evil, but Georgios is way too far gone. The knight is completely surrounded by fire, trying to protect everyone, but it's a losing battle. Georgios just laughs maniacally, reveling in the destruction. This dude is a straight-up monster. Wait, hold up. Apparently Matthias wasn't even considered for being a holy one. No way. Someone's dropping truth bombs, saying he was never a candidate, but Georgios doesn't care. He's all in on this ritual.